You said that you love winning. What drives you more, the love of winning or the hate of losing?
Maybe equally, maybe both. I don't like losing, and I do like winning.
Say his name and he appears.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to Winning Tonight. How's everybody doing out there this evening? I hope you are all doing and living well. Let me start off this evening by thanking all those awesome people out there in the winner's circle who make it happen on a monthly basis. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and being part of the solution. A big thanks to Shelly Wolfram and Ronnie Jams for supporting us over on Rumble as well. And tonight we are broadcasting live tonight on Rumble, YouTube, and X. So yes, the X is back tonight. All right. And away we go. Well, today we got some good news going on. Things are moving along as normal when good people are in charge. Things get done and good things happen. All right. Let me start here and say hello to this awesome crowd out here and the VIPs in the front row. Hey, MJ, how you doing? MJ got here early. Says hello to everybody. Heidi, how you doing? Thanks for holding it down over there on Rumble. And we got Wolfram, my friend. Wolfram, how you doing? Thank you for dropping these links. Remember, guys, when you're here, always listen to the wolf. He wipes his paws, he lopes in, and he howls. And that's how you know the alpha mount is in the house. All right. It sounds like I just sped up, right? Who else we got out here today? Did you see? We got Shelly talking trash and truth is in the house, giving out big hugs as you came in the door. She's our hostess with the mostest. And thank you to everybody who was at her show today. I think she might be doing one tomorrow. I don't know. You never know. But thank you guys for being there. Snipe, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. We got all kinds of people in here chatting up. Thank you. And there's Digger420. Hey, Digger420, how you doing? Or is it 1420 now? Is it 1420? I never noticed the one before. There you go. Oh, welcome to the show. Good to have you. Good to have you. Happy that you're here. All right. So, does it seem darker in here? It seem darker. The lighting, man. It's all about the lighting, isn't it? Oh well, it's a mysterious show. We're in the dark. How's everybody's day going? Let's take a few minutes just to chat. We're going to be going over the big stories of the day. Ukraine close to peace as Trump gets a ceasefire agreement out of Zelensky. Oh wow! After all that, we'll see. He gets a peace. He gets a ceasefire agreement. That's what he was after, and he gets it. How about that? How about that? See, the goal here is not to pick a side and to run over another country. It is to bring peace and stop the killing. That's the goal, and that's what we're doing. So good on that. Good for that happening. And a lot of the useful idiots of the corrupt establishment don't get the idea of peace anymore. They only get the idea of do what you're programmed to say, and act like idiots. That's pretty much it. And we're going to cover some of that tonight as well. The Dems just keep on losing. They keep on losing. They're imploding, and they really don't know what they are right now. But let's enjoy the ride. Let them keep on going. I got a couple pieces here up front after we get through the main headline of the evening. that are going to demonstrate some of that, and I'm going to make some comments on. I got a couple juicy videos that I'm going to stop and talk about some of the intricacies of what's going on. What I do here is I get some of the best takes out there and give you my best take on it. That's the way it works here. It's media analysis of media analysis. So I hope you enjoy it. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. What's up, Arby? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Letting some people come on in. Come on into the show. How's it going over there on the Rumble side? Hey, Rumble, what's up? We are climbing up there. We're inching towards 700. Looking to get there. I think we're going to meet our goal this year. I hope so. We seem to be on our way. It's up to you, Rumble. Hit the thumbs up, because that's how we get out in the algorithm. And I hate to have to harp on that. But that's what got the wolf here. You got to listen to the wolf. He knows what he's talking about, right? Just click on that, and that's the reminder instead of me having to say it. Everybody wants to listen to the wolf. I'm going Inception and covering winning reality, covering media coverage of news. Oh, there you go. Good. See, what I do, I almost called the show addendum, right? Because what I do is I give the deeper I give the root cause analysis on these things, right? And I go a little bit deeper than what's out there, and that's my specialty. So that's what I add to these reports, and often where they kind of stop, I keep going. So that's the added value you get here. So Past, how you doing? Member for 7 months. Hashtag real one. Thank you, Past. How you been? How you doing? Good to see you. I'm glad you're hanging out. Past has been around for a long time. Hey. He's been around for a long time. All right. Snoopy, that is. There's Snoopy. And good to see you. All right. So let's not waste any more time and get into it. Don't you love it when creators say that? Well, so let's not waste any more time and get into it. You just wasted a lot of time by saying let's not waste any more time, but okay. The stars shining bright in the sky tonight, deep in the heart of Texas. All right. Hey, Blue Lantern, what's up? Hi, everybody. Interested rate info coming out tomorrow. Rumors is they're looking great. I hope so, because we're going to cover a story here that talks about recession. And that we've been in a quiet kind of. I don't you guys feel like we've been in a quiet recession for a little bit? I sure feel like it. We have. Say hi to chat. Ain't wasting time. No, not saying hi to the chat. No, I'm talking about the videos where there's this one guy that always that's his catchphrase kind of thing. You know, it gives you like the highlights of what he's going to talk about in his video, and he goes, "Let's not waste any more time and get into it." And that seems to be a common thing. I find other creators doing that too. I think it's kind of funny. Well, if you don't want to waste any more time, stop. Don't say you're wasting time. Just get into it. You've wasted time that way. But I'm just being silly. But yeah, hasn't it felt like we've been in a recession? I tell you, from my standpoint, it has felt like a recession. So, and it just wasn't one of those things they made a big deal on it. But I think we're seeing it, and I think we're coming out of it. So they're going to use that quiet recession jargon to to say that Trump isn't what he's doing isn't working. And they're of course they're rushing out there. It's what's it been like first 50 days or so, and they're gonna rush out there and be like, nothing's working. Well, nothing was working in your 50. Nothing worked for your entire establishment run last time. So okay, we're blinking again. I don't know. I thought I had it set up right last time. You just never know because I have to move these things around. So it may just be like this causes it. This is my new thing. I fiddle with the background lights and try to make sure that the lighting doesn't screw with the camera. That's trying to deal with this situation it's dealing with these two big screens in front of me. And it just doesn't work. So I just got to kind of live with it. I don't know what I'll just be blinking. I'll figure it out one day. Here, hold on. Let's see it. Maybe tonight I need to sit closer. Nope. This is getting old. It's getting old and tired and in the way. It really is. But eventually, as time goes on, I figure it out, and by the end of the stream, it usually is okay. So there you have it. Let's get into the top story of the day. This is real quick. A couple quick hits here. And boom, and yeah, let's go. In fact, this is so short, it doesn't even have to be on winning speed.
But very importantly, and I said it, Ukraine, ceasefire. Ukraine, ceasefire. Just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia, and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, and we can get this show on the road. We can get this horrible war where 2,000-3,000 soldiers a week, every week, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 sometimes. I get the reports, and they're not American soldiers. They're Ukrainian and they're Russian. But people are being killed outside of that. People are being killed in the cities as things explode throughout the cities. And we want to get that war over with. So I think it's a very big, I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and this. So that's a total ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to it, and hopefully Russia will agree to it. We're going to meet with them later on today and tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important. If we can get Russia to do it, that'll be great. If we can't, we just keep going on, and people are going to get killed. Lots of people.
Yep, there you have it. That was it. That was a big announcement. So, I mean, enough for us, right? But there's a little bit more. There's a little bit more I can add to this, right? And it's important to hear from more people. Of course, it is. So this is a little bit more in depth. Let me go ahead and sort this out. Yeah. All right. A little bit more in depth, but that's good news, right? That's really good news. Hold on. Okay. So, things that work out. I had no doubt when he broke off negotiations last time that he would end up winning the negotiations and getting what he wants out of it, you know, because, he was, hold on a second. He was, Zelensky was wrong, and he's probably not the right guy to be leading that country anyways. And so he probably figured it out that if he didn't get his act together and get on board with peace, instead of trying to, have some fantasy of wiping out Russia, which is not going to happen, then he might be hitting the door too. And he's got a lot of skeletons in his closet. You can count on that. Who knows, man? He may go down as a war criminal, as some kind of like enemy, money laundering, crooked guy. So I don't think we've heard the last of him after this is all over. I think that we will find he may very well be under the microscope because of all this. And his attitude certainly has expressed that he's got something going on that ain't right. I mean, I don't know how you get a guy like that in as your premier or your president anyways. Like, without some kind of weirdness going on. And if the left loves him, if the establishment loves him, there's definitely something up with that guy for sure. Yeah, Shadow President Musk. Yeah, they love to say that, don't they? They really don't understand what's going on. By the way, tomorrow night, talking about shadow presidents, and thank you for that segue, Arby. Tomorrow night on Unveiling Reality, we're going to unveil the Biden administration, who was really running the show, from an insider, somebody who has come out and said these people are nuts. I was on the inside. I worked in the White House with Biden. I worked with all of them, and here's the real deal. And you're going to find out tomorrow night. Well, what we already know, that Biden wasn't really calling the shots at all. But who was? Who was the primary power? Who was the president for the past 4 years? We're going to find out tomorrow night. So check it out. Great interview with Patrick Beck Davis and Ling Lee. I think her name's Ling Lee. Laura Lee. I don't know. It didn't matter. Tune in and find out, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the whole interview, and we will enjoy that as we peel back the veil of the Biden White House. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to have a great time doing it. All right. We're going to destroy you with tariff. Canada's response, fine. Then we'll also hurt ourselves even more by tariffing our own exports. Morons. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about Trump declaring a state of emergency over the threats that Canada may cut off energy to some of the United States. And of course, Trump's response is, why are we depending on Canada for energy? Oh no, you brought that to his attention now, did you? Not a good thing, eh? I still think maybe half of Canada, like, okay, for the half of Canada that wants to live under a freedom-based, uh, human rights-based, kind of like, inalienable rights-based constitution, move yourself to the west, go to Alberta and Saskatchewan. I think those are the two territories to the far left um, of, of the territory of Canada. It's the country of Canada. Get yourself over there, and then we'll just take that half. And then whoever wants to be kneeling to the World Economic Forum, the WEF and the UN, whoever wants to be a post-national state, in other words, a globalist puppet, can go live in the other places. And so get all the base people. Let's help them get out of there, and then we'll just take that side of Canada, and that would be awesome. I was talking about that last night, about how we have to keep our minds and our eyes on the geopolitical picture in some of these moves, right? We're going to see some craziness out of the Democrats tonight in terms of their rhetoric, their lack of knowledge, the way they speak to their low information base, right? And a lot of that is they think that we're having some kind of like issue with Greenland, right? Not that we're like saying, hey, you know what, you should come with us. Things will be better for you and for us. It would work out great, and it's for a long-lasting peace. Now, why would we want that area? Why would we be interested in parts of Canada or Canada itself? There's coastline there, and there's this big old monster on the other side of the Pacific known as China, who, if we don't watch it, is set to take over the world here. That's still a real thing, and we kind of keep an eye on that, right? And that's economically speaking. And then, ideologically speaking, unfortunately, their ideology team is a persistent like virus that keeps spreading, and we have to be addressing that as well. But some of these geopolitical moves, when we say it is for national security or something like that, think about Agenda 2030. Think about 2032, which is the projected year that China would surpass the United States as the world economic power. And what are the things we have to do to maintain ourselves as the world economic power? I don't think it's take a knee, because the last thing we want to start doing is paying for things in yen, right? And I don't know that we would ever do that, but if our dollar had to be based on the value of the yen versus the other way around, our value of our dollar would go down and prices of everything would go up. So what you're earning now, you would actually be earning less up. We don't want to ever relinquish control of world economic power. That would be a bad thing for us, especially since we are the freest country in the world, and we don't want to hand that over to a Marxist authoritarian government structure like Canada, like China, who would inevitably control Canada. So they already kind of do, and we talked about that last night. So Unrig the Game. We've been talking about geopolitical stuff and war and whatnot. So tune into that show. You can come to the early show, the kickoff show, but I encourage you to read the book with us as well if you want to. We do that before and afterwards, so we have bonus content before and after. That's what I'm talking about. But let's get back into the main topic here, with Senator Rubio making a statement about this agreement that Trump just talked about. So let's hold on. Yeah, here we go. About the 30-day ceasefire agreement to try to get Russia to the table so that we can end this ridiculous, stupid conflict that never should have happened and never would have happened if Trump had been president. But, like with everything else, something good will come out of this horrible situation in the end.
For a full ceasefire, which you can see the details of which are in our joint statement that we released together. But we also got into substantive details on how this war is going to permanently end, what type of guarantees they're going to have for their long-term security and prosperity, but also really looking at what it's going to take to finally end this, the horrific fighting.
Hey, Andre,
the other piece that I just want to make very clear is President Trump started this diplomatic effort in the Oval Office, talking to both leaders, both President Putin and President Zelensky back to back, And now that shuttle diplomacy continues. We have a named delegation in terms of next steps from the Russian side. We have a named delegation in terms of next steps from the Ukrainian side. I will talk to my Russian counterpart in the coming days.
Treat, what's going on?
Secretary Rubio will
How
be
you
with
doing?
G7 foreign ministers in the next couple of days. We have the NATO Secretary General in the White House on Thursday, and we'll take the process forward from there. So as a result of that, and I think as a result of this positive step forward, the president has decided to lift the pause on aid and on our security assistance to Ukraine going forward. And that's
Funny
effective.
how that works.
All right, your colleagues have chosen 3 questioners. Let's start with Alex Marquardt of CNN.
Thank you. Several questions on the ceasefire. We understood that coming into this was a Ukrainian proposal for a partial ceasefire. How did this become an American proposal for an immediate 30-day ceasefire? And to be clear, you're talking about a complete ceasefire across the front line, not just the aerial and maritime ceasefire that the Ukrainians proposed. And then finally, how do you expect to take this to the Russians? Is it Mr. Witkoff, who we understand is heading to Moscow later this week? Will he deliver that to Putin? Will it be President Trump to President Putin? Will it be you and your counterparts? How will that actually happen and when?
Well, on the first point, your question is yes. That's the offer. The offer is to stop the shooting. The goal here is the only way out to end this war is to negotiate out of it. There's no military solution to this war. The solution to this war and the way to end it and to achieve the president's objective of peace is to negotiate. But before you can negotiate, you have to stop shooting at each other. And that's what the president has wanted to see. And that's the commitment we got today from the Ukrainian side, their willingness to do that. Obviously, now that'll be delivered to the Russians. It'll be delivered to them directly through multiple channels, meaning not only will they obviously see it, we've already, it'll be communicated to them through our diplomatic channels, through conversations and other methods, but they'll obviously be well aware. And our hope is that the Russians will say yes, that they will also agree. So the shooting will stop, the killing will stop, the dying will stop, and the talks can begin about how to end this war permanently in a way that's acceptable and enduring for both sides.
Look, there's been all kinds of.
So let me ask you guys a question. Do you think Marco has, Mr. Marco, our Vulcan Secretary of Defense, do you think that he's shaking the moniker of neocon now at this point? Is he reformed? Have we reformed Marco? Because he doesn't sound like a neocon, does he? Sounds like a America First Trump guy, doesn't? And he's doing his job the right way, not getting in the way and getting shit done. So far, so good. I know that was one of our question marks. Of course, for a lot of people it was. But we trusted our president. And I think that it's hard to call him a neocon with this kind of talk, right? So trust factor goes up, redemption factor going up. Let me know what you think in the chat.
Of discussions in terms of different types of ceasefires. There was the deal in terms of grain moving years ago. There's been discussion of halting aerial attacks on each other's infrastructure. The president has made it clear and certainly made it clear to us that all fighting needs to stop. And the Ukrainians have agreed to that proposal. They're ready for peace. And now we'll take that to the Russians and get their response.
All right, next, Jennifer Jacobs, CBS.
Great. Hi. Are you expecting any goodwill gestures from Russia? Do you have a deadline in mind for when you're hoping for them to reciprocate on that? Those two things.
Well, we're going to take the offer to them. We're going to tell them this is what's on the table. Ukraine is ready to stop shooting and start talking. And now it'll be up to them to say yes or no. I hope they're going to say yes. And if they do, then I think we made great progress. If they say no, then we'll unfortunately know what the impediment is to peace here. But the president's been abundantly clear. He wants the shooting to stop. He wants the warfare to stop. He wants the dying and the suffering to stop. And he believes, and rightfully so, that the only way to end this war is to negotiate an end to it. And we think that it's always easier to negotiate an end to the war when people aren't shooting at each other. That's how the president believes.
That makes sense, doesn't
That's what
it?
we hope to achieve. The Ukrainians today have expressed their willingness and readiness to do so immediately. We hope the Russians' answer to that will also be yes.
But no deadline set, sir.
Right?
Well, the deadline is we hope to do this as soon as possible. Every day that goes by that the war continues, people die, people are bombed, people are hurt on both sides of this conflict. The president wanted this war to end yesterday and the day before. The president's been clear he wants peace. And so we want to see it as soon as possible. So our hope is that the Russians will answer yes as quickly as possible so we can get to the second phase of this, which is real negotiations, not never-ending dialogue, talk forever, but real negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's acceptable to both sides, sustainable, and that ensures the stability and security of Ukraine for the long term.
The goodwill gesture, is there anything like the return of the stolen children or anything that you're expecting in return?
Look, we've discussed a number of things, prisoner exchanges, folks that were detained and what have you, but the fighting has to stop. I mean, that's what we agreed today. And just think about it. We've gone from if the war is going to end to now how the war is going to end. And this was an important first step. And that was under President Trump's leadership. He has literally moved the entire global conversation to where we had a very senior Ukrainian delegation with us today. We've had engagements with our Russian counterparts. And now it's how the war is going to end.
What's up,
and that's
buddy?
under President Trump's leadership.
So yeah, we're already a million miles ahead of anywhere the Biden administration was with this. A million miles ahead of it. Like so, I mean, they couldn't even get to this. They couldn't even get to the meeting to have the conversation about a ceasefire. All they did was shovel more of our money at them, which then, of course, got shoveled back to them and to their counterparts that were doing nasty, nasty stuff with it. Yeah. So winning, winning, winning.
To answer your question one more time, the goal here is peace. That's the president's goal. The best goodwill gesture the Russians can provide is to say yes to the offer that the Ukrainians have made to stop the shooting, to stop the fighting, and get to the table. If they do that, that's the best goodwill sign we could see. Obviously, as part of that negotiation, as we're talking about how to end this conflict, there will be a lot of issues to unravel. Among them, not the least of which is the humanitarian concerns, the children, the prisoners of war, all the things that sadly come with these conflicts. But the number one goodwill gesture we could see from the Russians is to see the Ukrainian offer and reciprocate it with a yes.
And next, for Reuters, Daphne Saladakis.
Thank you so much. Could you clarify what security assistance will be resumed? Does this include the PDAs? And why wasn't the minerals deal signed today? What are the outstanding issues there? And if I may, is the relationship with Ukrainian President Zelensky back on track? Do you back him?
Well, let me answer the second or the third. You had two, and then I'll let the security advisor talk about the defense and security assistance. On the second question, well, let me answer first on the minerals deal. As part of our communication today, that is something that was negotiated through our Treasury and his counterpart on the Ukrainian side. And so the president, and you see that expressed, both presidents will instruct the appropriate members of our governments to bring to finality the signature of the deal and the signature of this agreement. So that was communicated today, and that's going to happen. That was not the subject of our talks today. I thought I expressed that on our way in. We were here in pursuit of peace. That doesn't mean the minerals deal is not very important. It most certainly is, and we expressed that today in the statements we put out jointly, that the president, our respective presidents, have instructed the appropriate members of their governments to bring this to finality and to conclusion. The second part of your question was?
Does the security assistance include?
No, there was one after that.
And the Zelensky relationship back on track?
Yeah. What's back on track here, hopefully, is peace. That's what matters the most. I know everyone's looking for who likes this is serious stuff. Okay, we're not. This is not Mean Girls. This is not some episode of some television show. This is very serious. People are in it today. People will die in this war. They died yesterday, and sadly, unless there's a ceasefire tonight, they'll die tomorrow. The president wants that to stop. That's what he's interested in here. That's why we came here. That's why we're grateful for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia hosting us here. And what we leave here with today is a commitment that the Ukrainians are ready to stop fighting. They're ready to stop the shooting so that they can get to the table and bring about peace for their country and for the world on the security.
Well, I mean, I just can't echo enough. President Trump's president of peace. That's what he's demanding, and he's willing to take tough measures on all sides to drive that home. And in terms of the security assistance, it's the current presidential drawdown authority. I'll refer to the Defense Department on the eaches of what munition was where in the process, but it's the current PDA that will proceed to the Ukrainians.
All right, everyone, thank you.
Thank you. All right. There you go, guys. Peace on the way. I have no doubt it'll get done now. 2025 will be the year this stupid conflict ends. So we'll just let it walk on in. But if we can get people from, we can save some lives right now, let's do it. And let's get on with it, man. Once we get that conflict taken care of, we can start focusing on other things and save a lot of money. And we need to be getting a lot of money back from that minerals deal because they owe us a ton. Telling us they're gonna take our money and not pay us back. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that? Well, no way. Not in this day and age. So let me see here. How are we gonna do this? Let's do it like this. Let's go with our second big story, and then we'll just get into the top news and updates. That's what we're gonna do. Oh wait, we got some. Well, yeah, we got a lot of updates. A lot of updates. That's good because some of these are going to carry over. But let's get some more breaking news in here. I'll tell you what, we're going to do top news updates first, and then I'll get into the other stories later in this show. We're going to have more time just to kind of rant on about them. Because I got some things to say about some of the things going on in there. All right. But real quick, let me make sure I got this on real quick winning speed here. All right. So some other big news just popped a little bit earlier today. Let's get into that. Top news and updates is in the house. Let's see. All right, here we go. Breaking: House passes Trump-backed bill to fund government through September. Very quickly. Let's check it out.
Capitol Hill. We're still awaiting potentially Mike Johnson to step as you see plenty of lawmakers, reporters awaiting his presence. Let's take you though outside of this to a Republican box.
When they wanted to do a CR in September 2024, wait till after the election. Then we were told after the election, wait until we got the Senate majority installed, and then we'll fight and we'll implement Trump's agenda. But there's no fight in them. There's no. It's basically Biden's agenda, cut, copy, and pasted into the discretionary budget.
Do you expect the same thing to happen again in September?
We should be doing 12 separate bills. Right. We should be doing those over the summer. I suspect there's going to be very little effort to do that, because what 12 separate bills gets you is only 1/12 of the government stops functioning if one of those 12 bills doesn't pass. This place loves to have the threat of a shutdown. They can get the Freedom Caucus to vote for Biden's agenda with the threat of a shutdown, which is what they did here today.
And what's your reaction to President Trump putting on Truth Social that your days are numbered?
You know, Trump, he spent the whole day attacking me in Canada, and the difference is Canada caved.
But do you think, are you worried about
Now,
all right.
What's that about?
Thomas Massey there. This is Andrew Kraft, and you've been listening there to the lone Republican who voted against House Speaker Mike Johnson's funding bill, though the funding bill did pass. We do have Speaker Mike Johnson. He just stepped up to the podium. We do want to start it from the very beginning, and he's going to explain what happens next with all of this as this bill now goes to the Senate. Here's Speaker Mike Johnson.
The Republicans stood together, and we had one Democrat vote with us to do the right thing, and that is to fund the government. This was a clean CR. It freezes funding. It's a responsible thing to do, and we're ensuring that troops continue to get their paychecks, and TSA agents continue to do their work and be paid, and essential workers on the border and elsewhere are doing their jobs. It's shameful what happened on the Democrat side. They engaged in a misinformation campaign. They put out talking points about the bill on Friday before the bill was even filed, which was Saturday afternoon. They've been lying and misrepresenting the facts about what's in the bill, and the American people can read it for themselves. It's only 99 pages long. We did our job today, and it's shameful that they will stop at nothing. They will suggest that this bill is something that it's not, and they will run out the clock to shut down the government in a desperate attempt to stop the America First agenda. But I will tell you that President Trump and Republicans in Congress will stop at nothing to deliver on that agenda. We are going to continue to work hard. We will continue to stick together and get this job done, and it's an essential one. Now that the government funding bill has been passed out of the House, we send it to the Senate, and it falls on the desk of Chuck Schumer. He is the leader of the Democrats on that side, and he must determine whether he wants to fund the government, do the responsible thing, or whether he wants to shut the government down. And I certainly hope that there are enough Democrats in the Senate who have a conscience who will do the right thing by the American people and take care of business over there. So, any questions? Anybody?
expecting a shutdown?
I certainly hope not. I believe they'll do it. I believe the Republicans will stick together in the Senate as we have in the House. And I hope there are at least a number of Democrats in the Senate who will do the right thing. If not, this will be on their shoulders, and everybody in America knows that.
Mr. Speaker, on the other legislative undertaking reconciliation, some senators yesterday suggested that they can get the ball rolling by sometime like August, which is far beyond your time.
August is far too late. No, we're going to move that ball a lot faster than that. And we'll be talking with our colleagues and friends, Republican leadership in the Senate about this. They will be working the rest of this week, and then I think both chambers are doing district work next week. When we get back, this will begin in earnest, and we'll have leaders and lieutenants, committee chairs of jurisdiction in both chambers working together to begin that process, to finish up the resolution and move forward with budget reconciliation. That's going to be a very important thing for the country.
A rescissions package, a lot of folks have spoken about that in part with this continuing resolution. What's the status of that?
We anticipate that we will get a rescissions package from the White House as soon as all the calculations are made. The reason we took this step now is to allow for that process to continue to play out. And the DOGE efforts and the other things that are happening in the administration are very important for the American people, because ultimately what we're going to be able to do is downsize the size and scope of the federal government, make it work more efficiently and effectively for the people, and identify these extraordinary areas of fraud, waste, and abuse and eliminate that. So a rescission request from the White House would come over appropriately in the right timing when they have the calculations done, and Congress will do its job there. We are going to deliver for the American people. We're not sure yet. They're working on the calculations, which is the reason we could not include it today. But we do anticipate that. We're going to work hand in hand with the White House. And I want to compliment President Trump on his ability to be so involved that he's watching this step by step. He is determined to deliver for the people, and we are as well. So this is a well-coordinated effort between the White House and our Senate Republican colleagues and House Republicans. So we'll continue to work in that partnership to get this agenda done. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
All right, there you have it. House Speaker Mike Johnson catching up with reporters after he program. He says the House passes the interim spending bill 217 to 213. Massey is the lone GOP no, and Golden is the lone Democratic yay. That's Jared Golden, the Democrat from Maine, who is in a pretty moderate on
All right,
President
say this.
Trump's Truth Social, threatening Massey with the primary challenger. He says Congressman, in quotations, Thomas Massey voted to delay the debt ceiling bill from the Biden administration to the Trump administration, from September before the election to June after the election, without getting anything for this horrendously stupid move, when Republicans could have gotten everything they wanted. He additionally voted to delay the current budget disaster from the Biden administration to the Trump administration. Trump says, I was running for office at the time, doing my thing, and when I heard about this, it was quite simply hard to believe, a catastrophic mistake. Now, and virtually on every other vote, he's very simple. No, he can't even approve a continuing resolution when he approved them many times during his career as a congressman. Thomas Massey is a grandstander, and the great people of Kentucky are going to be watching a very interesting primary in the not too distant future there.
So him and Massey are not on good terms right now.
We're at the
not on good terms right now. All over getting, hey, Amp, how you doing? Good day, good day, good day. Not over, getting this thing done. There's got to be a reason for it. That's what I've learned. You don't know everything by looking at it at face value. When it comes to politics, inside and out. Maybe they need to get this done so they get something else done. It's one of those things. I don't know. But I guarantee you that as time goes on, these things will be getting under control. And I get what Massey's saying. I'd like splitting the bills up, but it's 99 pages. You guys want? We'll go read it right now. No, not really. But you can read it, right? What you can do actually is probably download it, put it into AI, and then ask questions to the AI. So maybe able to put the whole entire document into an AI and be like, okay, list out all the allocations for this. So, it depends on how much you want to know about it, right? And so, but it's there, and there's easy tools to sort through it with out there now. So, anybody having any lingering questions, don't let your imagination get the best of you. Go research it yourself, and follow this episode. You can use pretty much any AI these days. Just upload the document to it, and then ask questions to the document. To ask it what you want it to know. Start with a general conversation. Summarize it for me in 3 paragraphs, right? If that, list out all the expenditures. Once you get a better idea about how the document's laid out, you can then ask it questions. And dude, that's just basic research. That makes you more knowledgeable about what goes into it than most people. Most people are going to look at it at face value and be like, or maybe even at very surface level value, and be like, well, the Democrats didn't like it, so it must be bad, right? Or the Republicans like it, so it must favor the rich, or someone he's trying to steal money from us. All these bullshit things that they did. It's imaginainment, right? There's imagining it, making it up in their heads, acting like they know something when they don't. But the document's out there for you if you want to go look at it. If you want a quick way to look at it, use AI. There you go. Where we going next? Let's see. Let's mix it up a little bit. All right. So in case you didn't hear, here's some other light news for you. President Trump decided today.
Make a decision. Do you want to hear what my decision? Okay. What's your best of these cars? What do you think?
Well, the car that I drive is the Model S Plaid.
Which is that one?
The Plaid.
The red one in the
Plaid.
middle. Yeah. It's 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
So faster than a Ferrari.
That's pretty. I don't know. My
Wow.
they're gonna be using it more. I'm not allowed to use it. That's a fast one.
Just to be clear,
That's
so the 50%, is that going to go into effect on Canada or no?
Which one?
The 50% tariffs?
I'll let you know about it.
Okay.
I'll let you. But I appreciated his call.
Trump's buying a
I thought it was
Tesla.
nice.
That's right.
This is beautiful.
Not only that, he's buying the most badass Tesla out there. The Plaid, right? The Plaid. It goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
Should I get in?
Yeah, get in. Get in your new car, Mr. President.
Do you want my notes?
Yeah.
They gave me notes. I said, I'm not Biden. I don't need notes.
Yeah. I took it.
Thank you. And let me get into this second. I'll watch Secret Service go crazy. Thank you.
I mean, if you actually drove it around, it
Oh,
would be
that's
well.
beautiful. Wow.
I want to see Trump go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
That's beautiful.
I want to
is
see
a
the look on
different
his
panel.
face.
Everything's computer.
So I hear it takes your breath away. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a brake and an accelerator.
Ooh.
You give Secret Service a lot of time.
That's beautiful.
Meeting started.
Should I?
It's already started. Oh, you're already on. It doesn't like turn over like a regular motor. Once it's on,
you don't
you
want
hit
me
the
to
pedal.
drive it, do you?
Yes, we want you to drive it. Of course, we want you to drive it. I want to see videos of him going like 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, man. That's insane. That's fast, man. That's fast. But yeah, congratulations, President Trump, on your new Tesla Plaid. You got one of the fastest cars on the planet now. How about that? Oh, let's see. And when I make $1 million, I'll get one too. Maybe. Well, no. I'm gonna make $5 million. I'm sure it's gonna happen any day now. Just keep on believing, and it'll happen for you, right? Is he allowed to drive? He's not allowed to drive. You mean push this red button? Boom. Oh man. He can speed off from the protesters faster. Let's see. Okay, so that's moving down. This is moving up. Ding. Okay. Speaking of more good news and more cool things, and is this Wedding Saturday night? Holy crap. Hold on. Let's get some breaking news. How breaking is it? Can I play the intro to breaking news? 2 hours ago? That's pretty much breaking news, isn't it? Why not? Why not, guys? Oh, shoot. I need to do the thing for the thing as well. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, let's do the what time is it? All right. No, I can't see that. All right, hold on. Let me just do this. Do my standard online. Okay, start it. Okay, gotta start the goal just as a reminder. That way I don't have to. I like the goal thing. If we get it, we get it. Is it gonna work? Let's go. It seems to be stalled for some reason. All right. Try it again. Okay, and it's not working now. Or maybe it is. Then reset. Try it again. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, there we go. So we start the goal. This is a reminder that you can help support the channel in many different ways. And that's one of them. Oh, by the way, speaking of it just worked. Let me speaking of supporting the channel, I saw this over on Rumble and I don't want to forget about it. So let's do this one.
You take the blue pill. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
All right, I didn't find the chat. Should have started, but Shelly talking trash and truth gifted a membership, and Digger 420 got it over on 1420. Got it over on Rumble, and welcome to the winner circle on the Rumble side, the Rumble winner circle. Welcome. So now you match everybody else in the chat. There you go. There you go. It looks like a nice even color there. Everybody there enjoying that Rumble membership. Welcome. Okay. So now I can go back. I can go up to this one and just do it.
Breaking news. Everybody loves breaking news.
News. news involving the Department of Education, as we're now learning that nearly half of the workforce there is set to be immediately eliminated. I want to put up a post from Fox News about this here on Live Now from Fox, talking about this. Nearly half of the Department of Education staff to be eliminated immediately, as the staff slated to receive a, quote, reduction in force notice on Tuesday ahead of a staff, nearly half getting terminated. I do want to put up just this live picture right now outside of the Department of Education, as personnel with that department are set to receive this reduction of force notices. Earlier Tuesday, a memo was sent to all staff employees, informing them that the offices will be closed on Tuesday evening through Wednesday due to security reasons. Employees were instructed to leave the offices by 6 o'clock on Tuesday. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said they would like to see states hold control over individual education systems, including campaigning on the issue ahead of the 2024 election. The expected, quote, reduction in force notice comes after reports spread in recent days that Trump was ready to sign an executive order to abolish the federal agency. Newly minted Secretary of Education Linda McMahon sent a letter to all staff on her first day on the job earlier in March that she will lead a, quote, momentous final mission, end quote, to send education back to the states. In that statement, she said, quote, our job is to respect the will of the American people and the president they elected, who is tasked with the accomplishing the elimination of bureaucratic bloat here at the Department of Education. So following that, nearly half of the workforce there with the Department of Education set to be eliminated immediately. And speaking of, as we're following this breaking news, I do want to take you out to a live event.
All right. Well, there you have it. That was your breaking news segment. Reduction in force at the Department of Education, and it couldn't have happened to a better place. Yeah. We don't need none of that stuff. It hadn't done anything. It's only brought us down to the worst education in the world. I mean, does that deserve more? No. Well, we'll get it back. We'll get it fixed eventually. No, you won't. You're just screwing up generation after generation. Common Core was the biggest blunder. And not to mention the critical theory that was allowed to seep into public education. Never should have been there. An umbrella for grooming and for the erosion of parental rights within the school system. These were all massive problems that they could always point back to. Well, the Department of Education says so we got to do what they say. Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. Now, all you local school systems are now ultimately on the hook for everything that goes wrong. No more passing the buck. No more simping for funding. No more of that bullshit. It's all going away. That's a good thing. I think that Linda McMahon, though, should have at least had a Royal Rumble to decide who gets to stay. That would have been cool, but a real one. Like a Royal Rumble death match would have been nice to watch, huh? You could have made a lot of money for the government. We could have just televised it, and then pay-per-view, and then that money could have gone towards the national debt, or maybe to help local schools. I mean, I don't know. It could do stuff. It could do things. It can go places. You can see things.
We're at the very front end.
You can meet people. Where are we going next? Oh yeah, at the end of I forgot to mention, coming up later in the show, we will take a look at some of the press conferences and talks that have been given by various people. I just put White House presser on there because that'll be our highlight. But and I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know that sometimes I get a little bit of drop off during that, but I hope you guys stick around. Reduction is a good start. However, tonight we're going to be going to the southern border. And we'll be also doing that, so that'll be something. We already covered the Marco press conference, so that was kind of a little bit upfront, went with what we were talking about, so we did it again. Okay, we're gonna listen to JD Vance on a couple different aspects of the southern border, what's going on there. We had a couple different talks from him today, so something to break it up. No Trump XO press conference from the White House on board for today, but we do have a good White House press briefing with Caroline Leavitt, T-Rex's new secret crush. Okay, so there you go. Let's see. Do I remember what kind of super chat thank yous you like? Do you want the cat or the kitty? Or do you want the dudes? You want the dude? What do you like? Tell me what you like. I try to aim please. I'm like a bartender up here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I got a message from Central Command telling me which way to go here. So here we go.
Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for your super chat. Amp33, $5 Australian. Who's next? Goldberg's next. Goldberg is next. Who's next? Well, next up we got where are we going next here? We got that all straight over there, Kelly. Let's see, USAID, got some stuff on that. Education and limit. Okay. Next, you know who's next? Dr. Naples next. That's who it is. Let me make sure that I'm right about that before we get into the other stuff. Yeah, USAID. Let's do Tulsi after that. And we'll move that one over here. All right, good. Yeah, okay. So this will be the run we're on. Maybe we should do Tulsi first, just to break it up a little bit. Yeah, let's do Tulsi first. All right, here we go. Tulsi first. Some of this one we'll do right here. Let me work it on.
Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has revoked dozens of security clearances, including for former Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, former National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, New York Attorney General Letitia James, New York City District Attorney Alvin Bragg, as well as the 51 intelligence officials who lied and signed the Hunter Biden disinformation letter. Gabbard also blocked them from accessing classified information, while Joe Biden will no longer receive daily intelligence briefings. You're on the Intelligence Committee. What do you make of it? What are they losing by this?
To be the
Well,
man,
what
you
they're
got to
losing,
be
look,
the
it's
man.
completely
Right.
appropriate. It's obvious they have abused the privilege. Not everybody gets a national security clearance just
Yeah,
so they can
where's
have it. It's
mine?
expensive to own. The government has to pay for that. And what they
All these inside pieces of garbage, crooked establishment useful idiots now no longer have security clearances and will be out of the loop. And that's great stuff.
use it for is to go out and make more money by having contracts with people and businesses that need people with top secret security clearance and connections. They use it to
Yep.
grift. They use it just to make
No
money.
more grifting for you, you grifters.
They're not there using it to make the United States more safe or better. They're using it to parlay themselves into making more money, and they have shown themselves to have abused the privilege. And once you abuse the privileges, they must be revoked. It's a
Yep.
slap in the face
Goodbye.
for everybody that maintains the right standards of decorum and lawfulness. And doesn't abuse those privilege and use it as propaganda or something like that in a partisan fashion. That's not what's national. You're supposed to be focused completely on national security, not partisan witch hunts that where you use it to go after the people and the party that you disagree with.
Oh yeah. Oh well, we've lived it all. We've watched it all happen in the last few years. Congressman.
Boy. So we got to talk about one of the first major moves from Tulsi Gabbard that I absolutely love. Okay, as she is the new director of national intelligence.
Get
She has
ass and
decided to
taking
revoke the
names.
security clearances
Let's go.
of Democrat activists and Biden operatives.
Former President Joe Biden's top national security officials and legal figures who played roles in cases against President Donald Trump are now locked out of classified information. National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard announced Monday she revoked security clearances for former Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, former National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, and former Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco. Gabbard barred New York Attorney General Letitia
Nice.
James and Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg from accessing classified information. James led the civil fraud case against Trump, while Bragg prosecuted Trump in the hush money trial, securing a felony conviction. The move follows an executive order from Trump, who accused them of misleading the public and engaging in political coordination against him. Gabbard also revoked the clearance of attorney Mark Zaid, who represented a government whistleblower in Trump's first impeachment case. Zaid criticized the decision, calling it a violation of due process, punishing legal professionals for holding the administration accountable. Trump's order also
Didn't hold
targeted
him
officials
accountable.
who signed a 2020 letter suggesting Russia may have been involved in amplifying the Hunter Biden laptop story. He accused them of election interference and directed Gabbard to investigate others in and outside government for what he called inappropriate activity. In another break from precedent, Gabbard said the president's daily brief will no longer be shared with Biden. The Trump administration framed the move as a national security measure,
Nice.
while critics see it as political
Just
retaliation.
send him a picture of Trump's ass every day. How about that? Kiss it. Kiss it. Well, now you've moved up to the $10 range. What am I supposed to do with that? All right, we'll keep it nice for you. This is mine. AMP33 ruling the house tonight with another $5 Australian super chat. Thank you so much. T3 is boss winning. All right. Sounds good to me. All right, here we go. And thank you for that. I don't know about that, Amp. But maybe on my birthday. Yeah, she does have a birthday coming up. She does have a birthday coming up. There's that day. There's that one day. Hey, T-Rex Trucking and More. Hello, friends. Tonight, the and more is my truck is broken yet again. All right, T-Rex Trucking and broken again. There's T-Rex Trucking and broken again. Welcome to the show, my friend. Hope you're doing all right. Wow, it's almost like they did the exact same to the people who represented Trump. Wow, how about that? I know, why, right? Well, but we're supposed to forget about that. Yeah, we're supposed to forget about that. You need to sage your truck. Just like perma-sage it. I don't know. Maybe she's got a giant rack pulling the rest of her down. I have no idea. I can't. They got a bar in front of it. It didn't look like it. Well, let's hear what she has to say. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Okay, Tulsi Gabbard decided, you know what, Sleepy Joe, you don't need to see the president's daily briefing anymore, right? You're good.
Nope.
Which I 100% agree with.
You can send a picture of whatever underwear Trump was wearing that day, and you can just call it the daily briefs, right? So that would work.
I mean, what is Joe Biden reading? Okay, why does he need any information? He doesn't need anything, right?
I'm wearing this right
Joe
box
Biden doesn't need any information at all. He wouldn't know how to interpret it. He doesn't know what's going on. So he's good. Okay. Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, they don't need classified information either, right? In fact, none of these Biden officials need any type of security clearance because ultimately at the end of the day, like they're not a part of the government. It's not necessary, okay, for our national security. If anything, it just helps these people out in the private sector, right? These people get these security clearances, and when they leave office, when they leave their government positions, they use their security clearances in order to grift, right? To go into the private sector and to get jobs they otherwise wouldn't get because they have these security clearances. Okay. So President Trump has said, you know what? No. You're done, right? You're done making money off of the government. Okay. Go find another job, right? Go do something else. And one security clearance that got revoked, I found to be especially fascinating. Norm Eidson, who is an individual that currently is waging lawfare against President Trump. Okay, this guy is waging lawfare against President Trump for the longest time now. Okay, and I think it's about time that the Trump administration start to fight back against these lunatics.
Then he started attacking the rule of law left and right. And I'm litigating.
Remember that guy? Remember this guy? We looked at this before. This guy, like, dude, and then I did this, and then I did that. Remember that guy? Yeah, and we're like, yeah, now you're out of business.
Case is fair disclosure. The Constitution says that people born here are citizens. Oh no, I say what the Constitution is, not what everybody has always agreed. Pick and choose. And the court stopped him. I just got a preliminary injunction in that case. Oh, I'm going. The identities of all Americans that are in the Treasury system. I'm going to send a bunch of young hackers from Doge into the Treasury systems.
Man, when a scumbag like this just making up lies and spinning things to make them seem like they truly are. This is, again, just take a look at his face, right? Just here, I'll get out of the way. No, right. See, just look at him, right? This is the problem. This is the mental illness that has caused all the problems in our country. People like this, living in delusions, living in a boxed-in narrative, living under a subverted mindset. These are the people who think, and he probably believes the shit he's saying. I mean, to a degree, and then he understands that, well, it's okay if you exaggerate. It's okay if you do more. That's the voice in his head telling him to do that. But here he is. He was annoying the first time we listened to him. He's still annoying now.
To pour over that legally protected information.
But guess what? You don't have.
Oh, the FBI,
security
their
clearance.
Names are protected by the Privacy
No more
Act of the
drifting for you.
Constitution. Never mind that. I'm going to publish 6,000 FBI agents and personnel who worked on the January 6th case. And I got a court order on that. And on and on and on.
You got it, but it didn't do anything. It didn't last.
No. I probably worked on 10 cases. I just filed
He
another
is
one.
evil.
It got
This is
into
the
the
evil.
office of person.
And people think the evil faces are like, or something out of a movie, right? This is evil. This is the face of evil. It's a feminine male making up shit as he goes along to stop people from doing good things and to stop good people from stopping bad people. That's the face of evil right there. Like this. It's a man wearing a woman's pair of glasses. That's what it is. See, right here in the corner. See that? Look here. There he is. It's an effeminate man wearing women's glasses. That's the face of evil.
Personnel management. They're pouring over the Doge is pouring over these records. They have no right to these records. So the story is
According
shock and
to
awe, like
you.
never before seen in American history.
And, like, what is he on? Like, why is he like this?
You can't describe it as a presidency. It's a crime wave. But the flip side of that is that rule of law, the
He's
courts,
drunk.
civil society, democracy activists, thousands of people just like me. Fortunately, there's not too many that are just like me, but thousands of
That's the one thing I'll agree with him on.
colleagues, thousands of colleagues have joined in. And the shock and awe of democracy has been greater than Trump's illegalities. And last point, he's complaining about it. He and all his cronies are bitter.
You
So
failed.
we've come full circle
None of
to
it worked.
attacking the law, which is how he started his
Greg,
presidency.
Yeah,
knock this
so
dude
this
down.
individual got his
Knock him
security
down,
clearance
Greg.
revoked by Tulsi Gabbard, and so now his gravy trade, right, and being able to make money off of security clearance has come to an end, right, as he currently wages lawfare against the president of the United States.
over.
And now he's on CNN, boohoo, whining, and crying, right? That is what he's doing. So without further ado, let's get into it.
In multiple cases challenging the administration, we mentioned your security clearance getting pulled. But by the way, does anyone notify you, or did you just hear that through Tulsi Gabbard's, announcement?
My phone started blowing up. Look at Tulsi Gabbard's tweet. And Anderson, President Trump had said he was going to do this
He didn't. He seems a little different in this interview, doesn't he?
several weeks ago, right after we secured a court order in one of our cases at Democracy Defenders, protecting
That the name right there tells it all, doesn't it? Guess what else happened? You probably lost all your USAID funding too.
thousands of FBI agents from retaliation for working on January 6 cases. So you really have to see this as a kind of a backhanded compliment. We're working on over a dozen cases, and we've gotten those orders in many of the cases in response to illegal behavior by the administration. And this is more retaliation. Plenty of lawyers are going to stand up to it.
No,
and Aaron, in terms of the retaliation, it's revoking security clearances. What else?
There are also firms.
Retaliation. Again, here comes the subversion, right? They're calling it retaliation. No, it's punishment for being a bad actor. It's punishment for doing the wrong things, for lying to people. You're a gaslighting lawyer who works at some kind of foundation or some bullshit. Basically just a way to cover corruption and to protect the corrupt and to stop the justice from being served to those who are corrupt. And now you're tasting you're tasting it because you've been the shield and now you're getting the sword. Right. So it's not retaliation. It's really just justice is the way it should be. You don't have a right to security clearances. It's a privilege, and you lost your privilege by being a bad actor. You're telling lies, obstructing justice, painting trying to subvert people's minds with bullshit fallacies that you make up. The false narratives you're projecting in order to make yourself seem like you're some kind of virtuous defender of democracy when you're nothing but a useful idiot for the corrupt establishment, right? That's why because the days that we're draining the swamp, the days of the corrupt establishment are now beginning to go away. And to do that, we have to get rid of people like you. So it's not really retaliation. It was always a plan to get rid of people like you. So don't take it personally. Just go fuck off, right?
That work with big companies that have government contracts. And Trump is asking to investigate those government contracts and potentially revoke them. Which
So not related to the case they're working on, just any government contract this firm may have.
Right. I mean, if you read the executive orders, it's very clear that the firms are being targeted, not the work they're doing necessarily. Even the one about Jack Smith is about the firm being the problem.
Wow.
And the second was much more sweeping. It called for investigations into DEI practices, revoking of government contracts. You mentioned access to federal buildings. It's written a little broadly, so it's not clear if that means federal courthouses. And the second law firm, Perkins Coie, has said that they see it as patently unlawful, the move, and they will challenge.
Norm, I mean,
so I want you guys to understand what's happening here, right? You have all these liberal law firms that are living off the government, right? That's what they're doing. Okay, they get access to government buildings, they get government funding, okay, they get all this stuff. And President Trump is like, okay, you know what? We're no longer going to be funding these liberal law firms, okay? Because a lot of these law firms have engaged in lawfare against the president, okay, in order to try to keep him out of office. And ultimately,
like we're not supposed to leave people like that in when he's the president. They're definitely a threat to the president of the United States. They don't deserve to be there.
That's what these people are upset about, right? That's what they're upset about most when you talk about Doge. What they're mad about is the fact that the cronies, okay, these liberals who are getting a living off the government, okay, through their connections, getting these contracts that they otherwise wouldn't get to basically do nothing. The money is coming to an end, right? The government money is coming to an end, and that's what they're freaking out about the most. That's why I don't like Elon Musk going through the receipts, going through the payments, because you're going to find out that, hey, a lot of these liberal activists on television, right, like Norm Einstein, okay, they're getting money funneled to them, right, through the government, right, and then they're taking that money and then they're turning around and they're using it to push propaganda or to engage in lawfare against the president. So again, President Trump is basically stopping that, okay, he's stopping that gravy chain, and that's what they're upset about. That's what
Game over.
Okay,
you go home now. Hey, Levy, what's up? How you doing?
This feels like, I mean, administrations have had contentious relationships, you know, with law firms in the past, but this feels like they're pulling levers which have not been pulled before.
Anderson, it's illegal.
That's a setup question. It's a setup question. This feels like they're pulling levers. Would you like to come over later and pull my lever? This seems like he's like it's a setup question and an invitation at the same time for these two emasculated men. It's like, okay, so this guy's gonna lie some more. So here we go.
It's a violation of the Constitution. The first time.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You fucking liar.
They try to keep me out.
Really, bro? Really? It's a violation of the Constitution to say, hey, you can't have a security clearance anymore. I don't know what these people think, but they really believe that the executive should have no power whatsoever. Right? I mean, like, come on. They don't think the executive should be able to mass fire employees that technically work under him, right? They don't think that the executive should be able to rein in spending for organizations, for entities, for agencies that are under the executive branch, right? They really want a powerless president. Oh, no, you can't revoke my security clearance. That's illegal. Right? I'm like, what's illegal about that? If they feel like you should have it or that it's unnecessary, then I feel it should be the discretion of the executive branch to decide who can get it and who can't. Again, it's amazing how this works, right? They really believe that the president should have zero power whatsoever.
Out of a courthouse will be right in front of a judge.
Is it just me, or is this guy's picture really blurry? Just real quick, guys. Like, what are you seeing here? Does it? I'm just trying to check my insanity. Like Anderson, Cooper, Greg, they seem clear. This guy seems blurry, right? I'm just trying to make sure I'm not going crazy. All right.
Judge within minutes. I guarantee you that judge will have me in the courthouse. You have to understand it in a pattern, Anderson.
Yeah.
Donald Trump said he was going to be a dictator on day one. The essence of dictatorship.
Here we go. So this is called this guy. This is what he does, right? Everything he's going to say is false after that statement. So what he's done is he set up. He said the premise is Donald Trump says he's going to be a dictator on day one. Now he's going to explain what a dictator does. Now he's going to try to warp it back into that. We all know that was just a joke that he told. That was just a joke that he told. It was just him having some fun, right? And so, but this guy takes him seriously. Now he's going to spend. This is the way the mind control works, right? Like I said, part of what I do. Yeah, I'm looking at other creators. I'm media analyst, but also this is the part that I add in that they don't have, right? This is the part that I've been working on for close to 2 decades now, is understanding how this shit works and how it's impacting people that every day, right? But this little thing, these little subversive tactics, they're everywhere. And the more you see them, the more you'll realize the true nature of reality that surrounds us, right? This world of subversion that we're living in. It's like the film on your skin, it's like the film on everything that nobody sees. Like you put a pair of glasses on and all of a sudden you see this stuff, this slime is kind of all over everything, right? This film, that's subversion. That's how bad it is. That's why we have to do something about it to make a real change happen, a lasting change, for one that could have great positive repercussions for generations to come. Like it can't keep letting subversion be slamming all over people's minds and becoming this grotesque film that's over top of everything, to the point where this guy is on there talking like he knows something, right? But all he's doing right now is trying to manipulate people He's trying to, and look where they're at. They're on CNN with CIA asset right there, right? And they are subverting minds. This is literally not. This is not news. This is an exercise in manipulation, and that's when you get to a certain point in life, and you've seen this enough times, you don't even see it as news anymore. Are they talking about something that happened? Yes. Could that be considered news? I guess, but they're not doing that. They're taking it and they're spinning it into a mind control, psychological operation here. And are they conscious that they're doing it? No, probably not. This guy's programmed. This is programming, right? And what Anderson here is doing is just feeding him the lines, and he comes out with the bullshit, and then that goes into the brains of all the subjective, useful idiots on the living in the first veil, right? The ones that are trapped inside the establishment narrative, right? And that entrenches them. It keeps them trapped in it, and it keeps them programmed. So now they get their new talking points. Oh, Trump unconstitutionally took away security clearances for all the lawyers and and the judges. He's doing it to everybody. This is all part of his plan. It's because he's a dictator. And then now they're going to spit back what comes out of this asshole's mouth, right? So really, they're just talking shit, aren't they?
Is breaking the law, and these
what's illegal about this?
Nothing.
Well, it violates First Amendment, freedom of speech. There's no
due
process.
Hey, how you doing,
It cuts
Justin?
off my
Good to see
client's
you.
right to counsel if I need, and I do, security clearances to represent clients. This won't hold up in court, just like so many others of Donald Trump's actions.
Listen to this guy. Listen, nothing he said there.
Hey,
is proof that
Greg.
this is illegal. He's worried about his money, right? His money is drying up. That's what he's worried about. He's freaking out because his money is dried up. That's what it is, guys. That's what all of this is about. That's what these people are freaking out about. This is why this guy is suing left and right in order to stop Doge, because he knows that Doge is discovering that these people are getting money funneled to them by the government in different ways. Okay. Again, the security clearance is one of them in which they grift off of that. They use that in order to make money. That's what they're upset that their money is being turned off. That's what it is.
Illegal spending freezes. Mr. Elon Musk and Doge pawing over personal data, the firing of those FBI agents. I'll be in court this week on an illegal firing of tens
You'll be there without a security clearance.
of thousands of probationary employees. We've gotten order after order from the courts, myself and our partners, cutting that off. Yes, you need lawyers and law firms to bring those cases, but the retaliation won't work. Perkins Coie got one of the best firms in the country to represent them. And I think you're going to see some law firms will be scared, but many attorneys are going to take this as a backhanded compliment. Anderson, you know what? I'm doubling down, and so are my colleagues at Democracy.
Go broke doing it. Go broke doing it, please. Spend the money. I want you to.
I heard a number of firms turned down. I think the Perkins Coie initially, but they do have a very good law firm now representing them. Ambassador Norm Eisen, appreciate Aaron Mulvaney as well. Thanks so much.
Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. He's mad that his security clearance being revoked is going to make it harder for him to make money. Again, it's one big grift, guys. It's one big grift off the government, and President Trump is ending it, and these people are losing their minds. Right?
It's great. I love it.
Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
Thank you, Greg. We'll see you here in just a little bit for another piece here. All right, here we go with Doug tonight.
We're at the very front end, the very tip of the iceberg at what
USAID.
What we're finding is that the government is, I would say, made up of primarily illegal funding. Our government, I don't know about illegal even, but immoral, I'll say. And I'll make my case in just a minute. Welcome to the Doug Tenable channel.
I'm in, baby. I'm in.
We've got some great exposing of your government, mostly Democrats, some Republicans also. But imagine your tax dollars, okay? $2 trillion a year is the budget. $1 trillion of it we already know is going to pay interest. So that's already being thrown down the hole.
It's amazing how sometimes I can't tell if it's on 1.25 or not. I live at 1.25. So,
based on the lies of the last 40 years of government just borrowing money that we couldn't afford, and now we're paying interest on it. So that's already half of your budget is a grift. It's not even going to pay for a cop or to pay for security or to pay for welfare. Half of your tax dollars thrown in a hole just to pay interest on $2 trillion a year. Now that leaves us to a $1 trillion money being spent by our government, which allegedly we found waste, fraud, and abuse. Elon Musk thinks we can find about half of the government waste, fraud, and abuse, which doesn't surprise me, because not only are we funding American waste, fraud, and abuse, we're funding waste, fraud, and abuse around the world to countries that can't even survive in the free market. We're paying them money, your tax dollars. That leaves about 1/4 of our tax dollars of what we paid being remotely fiscally plausible, fiscally moral. 1/4 of the taxes you pay are actually going to American citizens and our needs. And even then, I have my suspicions. So I'm guessing, we're about 75% fraud. Let's take a look at Tim Burchett. On some heads are going to roll when all this stuff gets exposed because he knows something the CNN reporter does not.
These are people. I
Currently,
think, I think these are people who actually are interested in reducing. Some of these estimates, they are people who are interested in being fiscally conservative.
Then why don't they embrace the idea of exposing these things? Why do they want to? They want to demonize Trump and they want to demonize Elon Musk. It's ridiculous.
No, they don't. I'm just talking about. No, they're not. I'm just talking about
every day. Have you all ever had any in the last,
folks,
I don't know, 3 weeks an article on?
I'm talking about the math on waste, fraud, and abuse.
Well, look at the math. If Elon Musk says that he thinks he can find $1 trillion worth of waste, abuse, and fraud, why don't we let him try to see if he can find it? What is that?
I like how Tim Burchett is calling her out using clarity. He didn't finish his sentence. She wouldn't let him because she was too busy promoting the Democrat talking points. But number one, he said, why haven't you in the last 3 weeks had one positive Elon Musk story? Why hasn't CNN, if it's both sides and they're just reporting the news, even if you're going to report 2 different opinions on something, they've only given you one opinion, and that's anti-Elon Musk, anti-Doge, that is anti-government oversight, anti-looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. So this is opinion news. Even if you'll admit that, is it possible that this could work? This thing that Elon Musk is doing could indeed work. He could indeed be exposing fraud, but CNN will not report on it. Therefore, they learned nothing from the election. Their ratings are down, and it's good that they're down because they're lying to you. And Tim Burchett just now was trying to help CNN. If they would listen to him, they might have saved their network because of him, but they won't. They're going to screw it into the ground instead. That's why haven't they had a single positive story on Elon Musk? The second thing that she said was, lots of us are for stopping waste, fraud, and abuse. That's another talking point of the Democrats. We're not pro waste, fraud, and abuse. We're against it, inward only. And the right is responding by saying they're against waste, fraud, and abuse until they actually find it. And then they'll do everything they can to cover up for it and support it. So that's fair to say that when a Democrat says they're against waste, fraud, and abuse, it is in word only. They cannot give a clear example of one thing that they actually support reforming. So they're trying to protect a giant corrupt system, which Tim Burchett is saying it's going to come back and expose that the government is paying things out and they're getting money back to the actual congressmen and senators who are sold out. And all these administrators are a giant grift that we're paying for. And some heads are going to roll. They're going to go to prison. It's going to take a while, guys. It's probably going to take 2 years for all this stuff to be uncovered.
That hurt. Everybody's
It's be a great 2 years then, Doug.
Here. And the problem is that this money, you're going to see it going to politicians and going out to these NGOs and all these
they have to go on there to reach the
they claim they're doing a good job, and it's coming right back to Washington and possibly both parties.
She's not listening. Look at her. She's looking down at her notes and reading her next argument while he's talking. So she's not going to respond to this information. I'm going to rewind it a little bit to get back to when she looks down. There she is looking up at him. And then we're going to go back to her. Look how long she looks down to read her next argument before he even finishes his statement.
And going out to these NGOs and all these organizations that they claim they're doing a good job, and it's coming right back to Washington and possibly both parties. And I think that's what a lot of these people are afraid of. They're going to get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And some of these people need to be in handcuffs because Medicaid and Medicare should be a sacred group of people, and we should not be stealing from any group that is trying to help that community. And that is what has happened.
So that's in defense of Medicaid and Medicare, because remember, you've seen Jasmine Crockett, you've seen Nancy Pelosi.
We're going to see Jasmine Crockett here a little bit later.
That Trump is trying to cut Medicaid and Medicare. Do you think that's part of his agenda? Of course not. So they're using that as a cover to scare retired people and people getting Medicaid and Medicare, and hoping that they can cause, I think they want a violent insurrection against our government. Now, here's the next one. This one is a new journalist. This is on the money laundering exposed. People are going to prison. Someone is going to prison.
Read the entire thing. Her next project could be even bigger, investigating and exposing what she believes are corrupt politicians and judges. She posted this weekend, still working on the People Connection Med project.
This will
be my first truly financially high-cost initiative.
Is this the blind girl?
Right.
So my project right now is to work on analyzing connections and relationships between people in the government. Because if you research people long enough, you start to notice that they're all working together. They're all married. They're all in-laws. They know each other. They all sit on the same board for many years. And that's my project, to map those relationships and put it on my website.
She says Democrats and
All
Republicans.
right, we got this part. We saw this. Thank you, Doug, for that. I don't want to rehash anything we've already been over. But yeah, there we go. All right. I bet you can play meat and pinball. Probably can. Well, no, she's not blind. She's not blind. She's not, she can speak, just not very well. She's deaf. She's wearing the glasses for anonymity sake. Yeah. For an anime sake. They all say. Well, yeah, the both sides were working together. That's when the neocons were in charge. So we threw those guys out. So, we draw the distinction between neocon rhinos and what is now America First people, a unified front of America First people, Americans, Americanism, that had to enter through one of the parties. The only party that was possible for it to enter through was the Republican Party, due to the way that they have their structure is, right? You see, if you try to go through the Democrat side, one, they have all the crazy policies, but two, they also have super delegates, which overwrite everything. So, as Bernie Sanders has found out many times, trying to be the communist at large on that side, eventually they're like, Bernie, take the knee, give us your base, take the knee, turn him over to the establishment. Okay. Should I get on too? Yeah, Mr. Panderslander himself, take the knee, Bernie, take the knee. And he always said, yes, master. All right. So yeah, we had to do it this way. And some of us have been doing it since trying to get this done since the Ron Paul revolution. That'd be me. And we are finally here. We're starting to see the results of decades of work. Decades of work. Are you behind him? You might be behind. I was asking the blurry question a little while back. Was everything blurry? Am I just like screwing it all up? Something seems kind of wild today. I don't know, man. I thought it was just because we were starting with the light still coming on. All right, so we're coming around to the last this part of the top news and updates. I want to get into deeper into some more stories, and then we're going to jump over to the press conferences, and we're going to take a look at those tonight. I got some good stuff coming from the border, from JD Vance, as well as a White House press conference today, where we get the top updates of the day, along with some questions for Caroline Leavitt, aka T-Rex Trucking's new crush. Okay, so let me get this one ready. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to get into some of the ones where we're going to do a lot of talking, top news updates and stuff. And then now we're going to get into some analysis on some of the deeper ones today. A couple of things I want to point out. Donald Trump has announced he will be, though I'm doing it the whole way through, but there's a couple ones I have highlighted here just for this occasion. Because we got the news that Trump has declared a national emergency as Canadian premier threatens Americans to shut off the electricity to people. And this is only from 8 hours ago. So I know we've kind of heard this already, but this is a deeper dive into that and what to do about it. Let's go.
Declaring a national emergency in affected areas after the premier of Ontario said he would not hesitate to cut off electricity to these American citizens.
Cut off
Trump,
electricity.
of course, is outraged, saying, why are American citizens requiring Canadian electricity to survive? In response to the increased tariff on electricity to Americans, Donald Trump is retaliating against Canada with further tariffs.
Yes, eat those tariffs.
Now, there's a conversation around the
gravy
market
on
tanking.
it.
Democrats could be attacking this. Instead, they're much more concerned about an activist.
And just before we get into this, let me just say that as everybody knows here, we love our Canadians. We love the base Canadians. We understand that there is a lot of Canadians under their own establishment mind control narrative that's going on in their country, and they have been for a long time. We view them the same way we view our own problem here in America. And we view those who are outside of it, who are awake, aware, and resisting as our allies. And we love you. So don't get mixed up here in this battle between globalist WEF puppet Trudeau and his government that's been ruling over Canadians unfairly and unjustly for over a decade now. Don't confuse that battle between our feelings for our fellow North American countrymen and women up in Canada who are our dear friends. So just to let you know, just little reminder there to start off with, because we're going to be talking about us going after the Canadian establishment, the corrupt Canadian establishment. Yes, they have one too. And that's who we're talking about, not you beautiful Canadians that are open-minded and awesome people that are friends of ours. No, not you. Okay, here we go.
Protests against Israel. I am not making a comment on that. I'm saying that's where their focus is. Calm down.
Calm it down.
Curiously, I'm wondering what you guys think about all of this. The trade war is escalating, and the market is hit.
I think you got trade war. Okay. There you go. See, we're all good. We're all good. Hosers, take off hosers. We did a old school watch party Sunday special called Canadian Day, Canada Day. We had Scott Free Freedom. He's out there somewhere. Maybe he's listening tonight. Maybe if we say his name, he'll appear. But we watched Canada is Dying, the documentary Canada is Dying, about their drug epidemic. There's probably a lot of other ones out there that need to be watched about Trudeau and him being a WEF puppet, and the internal destruction of Canada. The drug epidemic was just another way to demoralize and ingrain a cycle of abuse that's going on there to maintain his rule. The booing of our national anthem by the mind control victims in Canada is unfortunate, but we know that they have a strong propaganda issue there as well. So there you have it. But trade war. Okay, so how are you going to do this trade war with us? How's this going to happen? You've been screwing us over. This is, again, the Canadian establishment has been screwing over America, and our establishment has been letting it happen. Our corrupt establishment has been letting it happen, working with you to help destroy both countries. So how's it going to work when you already have like 100% plus tariffs on our stuff? You know, to make it worse, they're taking pre-bought liquor off your shelves. Like, that's really stupid, right? I guess you're just giving it out to people to get drunk on for free so they can not show up for work or, get an alcohol addiction problem or something. I don't know what you're doing with that liquor. Sitting it back. But they are they're not going to win a trade war with us because we don't care. We don't watch.
Suggesting this was always going to be the case because we've been in a recession for some time. And I want to play a video for you guys.
Oh, yeah, and here we go. We're going to talk about the recession too, and this mixed in with this, the secret recession.
Is from Mikey Taylor, who is one of the best pro skateboarders ever, retired now, but a financial expert working in real estate who's breaking down his view of what we're currently looking at. I saw this video from him. It was interesting because I felt this too. We've been in a recession for a long time, but they've been lying. We talked about it last year. Now that Trump is president, we are seeing a massive correction. Is this Trump's fault? It's easy to blame Trump with the tariffs and the trade war, but it could be that no matter what Trump did, this was going to happen. And mind you,
that's a point to be thought about, right? That this is something that won't be spoken about because the recession wasn't really formally announced. But this could be something that was already inevitable, right? Check it out.
They said last year the numbers were being flubbed, and I'm talking about prominent conservative influencers, personalities, people on our show, me. We were like, look, how do you have all of these big box stores shutting down? How do you have sales failures, bankruptcies, layoffs? And they're saying the economy is better than ever. It was a huge talking point. The American people felt it. Now what we're seeing is the massive correction. So first, let me show you this news. And then I want to play you this video from Mikey Taylor's podcast where he basically lays out why he thinks we've been in a recession for a long time. But again, I digress. Maybe you feel differently. So comment and you tell me, is this Donald Trump's fault? Some are saying, so what if it is? We need to do this because Trump is going after the bureaucratic state.
That's right.
Breaking news. Trump declares a national emergency on electricity and says Canada will become the cherished 51st state. No, Canada is what, like 13 provinces or something? I don't know. I don't know nothing about Canada, but maybe we'll take Alberta. President Trump declared a national emergency on electricity in the United States and doubled the tariffs on aluminum and steel from Canada after retaliatory tariffs from America's neighbor to the north. The president, in a lengthy post on Truth Social account on Tuesday, also threatened to permanently shut down the Canadian auto sector. I love it. I am just so sick of weak leadership. And Donald Trump saying, you can't go to war with me, baby, is amazing. Yo, Ontario thinks they're going to play games in the United States. They're in for a rude awakening. The president in a lengthy post said this. The only thing to make his tariffs stop is for Canada to become the 51st state. He noted as he ramps up his trade war, he is going to eviscerate the Canadian economy. Well, let's jump to his lengthy text post. Oh boy, take a look at this. Based on Ontario, Canada placing a 25% tariff on electricity coming to the United States, I have instructed my Secretary of Commerce to add an additional 25% tariff to 50% on all steel and aluminum coming into the United States from Canada. One of the highest.
The wall just got higher.
Tariffing nations anywhere in the world. This will go into effect tomorrow morning, March 12th. Also, Canada must immediately drop their anti-American farmer tariff of 250% to 390% on various U.S. dairy products.
Okay, stop there. I have the camera off for the bright light. The bright light is there. But an anti-American farmer tariff of 250% to 390% on various U.S. dairy products. Why are they allowed to do this to us? Why are they allowed to do this to us? Right? But we're the bad guys for wanting things to be fair. No one explains this part, do they? They don't ever talk about this part. They just turn it into something else. That's the tragedy of mind control establishment narrative. It's because they skip over the meat of it, right? We're already being screwed. Oh no. It's some kind of trade war. No, a trade war. They've already been attacking us for how long? So you've been attacking us. We've been taking it for how long? But most people don't even know this. Most people don't even have any idea this is going on. All they say is like, "Oh my God, Trump's attacking our allies." Oh Jesus,
which has long been considered outrageous. I will shortly be declaring a national emergency on electricity within the threatened area. This will allow the U.S. to quickly do what has to be done to alleviate this abusive threat from Canada. If other egregious long-time tariffs are not likewise dropped by Canada, I will substantially increase on April 2nd the tariffs on cars coming into the U.S., which will essentially permanently shut down the automobile manufacturing business in Canada.
You know, we're not laughing for what's going to happen to Canadians. We're laughing for their corrupt establishment trying to play games. Y'all just don't learn. I don't know who or what you think you got going on there. Corrupt a Canadian establishment. I don't know what you think you got going on there, but you're screwing us over. You're telling us that we should like it. Okay. And when we ask for fair treatment, you threaten to turn off electricity to people. And you don't seem to realize that we hold all the cards and you really don't. The Canadian establishment. And the idea that, you know, we can get our own electricity, which we will evidently going to do now. You've set that wheel in motion. That's going to happen. So you're going to lose all those customers. We'll bring our data centers back. There's some data centers that are pretty key that are up there. We'll get our data back. We'll start divesting from your country now because, you know, you're screwing us over on tariffs already. And then you're complaining when we just want things to be fair. Like, who does that? And then you call us the bad guys. Then you boo the national anthem. You send your mind control victims out to boo the national anthem, right? To paint a bad picture of America, so that you can keep screwing us over and stealing from us, and then we don't even talk about the border right now, the fentanyl coming across the border because drugs are legal there because you thought it was a good idea to start a drug epidemic in your country, and that's victimizing people and families all across Canada from one end to the other. Right. And then they can't get rid of Trudeau. Right? They can't get rid of the toxic, bought and paid for, post-national, globalist government that has taken over Canada and turned it into what it is today. And we're fighting for this base Canadian patriots that are out there that want freedom, that want to own their land and own their lives and have real rights. We're fighting for these people. It starts with fair treatment. You won't win any kind of economic battle with us, Canada. You won't. So I mean, Canadian and corrupt establishment. You won't. So it's funny to watch you try.
Those cars can easily be made in the USA.
See?
Also, Canada pays very little for national security, relying on the United States for military protection. We are subsidizing Canada to the tune of more than $200 billion a year. Why? This cannot continue. The only thing that makes sense is for Canada to become our cherished 51st state. This will make all tariffs and everything else totally disappear. Canadians' taxes will be very substantially reduced. They will be more secure militarily and otherwise than ever before. There would no longer be a northern border problem, and the greatest and most powerful nation in the world will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And Canada will be a big part of that. The artificial line of separation drawn many years ago will finally disappear, and we will have the safest and most beautiful nation anywhere in the world. And your brilliant anthem, "O Canada," will continue to play, but now representing great and powerful state within the greatest nation the world has ever seen. I really do not see that as a reality, my friend.
I know, but he's trolling so good. In the middle of that, he's putting out a lot of facts, right?
My friends. But I digress. Trump has also made another post stating on Truth Social, why would our country allow another country to supply us with electricity, even for a small area? Who made these decisions and why? And can you imagine Canada stooping so low as to use electricity that so affects the life of innocent people as a bargaining chip and threat? They will pay a financial price for this so big that it will be read about in the history books for many years to come. Well, my friends, here's the video. Ontario threatening to cut off American electricity.
Let me be clear. I will not hesitate to increase this charge. If necessary, if the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely. Believe me when I say I do not want to do this. I feel terrible for the American people because it's not the American people who started this trade war. It's one person who's responsible. That's President Trump. I'd rather be working together. I want to sell the U.S. more energy, more electricity, more critical minerals. I want to make Canada and the United States the richest, most successful, safest, most secure two countries on the planet. But as Premier, my number one job is to protect the people of Ontario and in hand protect the people of Canada. I will do whatever it takes. I will fight like I've never fought before.
So what are you going to protect them from? What are you protecting them from right now? They need to be protected from you. That's the problem. Why do so many videos look blurry tonight? Am I losing my vision? Like, is this guy blurry as hell too? Is it something going on like with the connection and like other creators are having a problem and I'm just seeing it secondhand? I mean, my picture looks kind of clear, right? And Tim looks clear, but then there's this guy. He doesn't know shit and isn't clear on video. Are people turning blurry? News at 11. So anyways, yeah, I don't know who he thinks he's protecting Canadians from. Someone needs to protect Canadians from this guy. That's what I think.
To protect Ontario.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you that. And Donald Trump's job is to protect Americans and not Canadians. So when Donald Trump says you are taking advantage of us for the betterment of the American working class and manufacturing base, we're going to issue tariffs. All you can do is really cry about it. Now the market is taking a big hit, and you know let me pull up the current numbers because
glasses might be dirty.
It was selling off earlier.
Clean them off.
Dow slides another 400 points. We've got this from the Wall Street Journal. Trade threats send Dow down 300 points. U.S. dollar weakens further. Airline stocks in focus after outlook cuts. Oh boy. So we can take a look at Dow and NASDAQ taking a big hit going down. You know, look, the big fear I have right now is one. I said this before. Donald Trump better get a handle on this. Even if it's a correction, whatever you're going to call it, it's bad. And it's bad for regular people. The Democrats and liberals like to scream to the high heavens, the market is meaningless. What matters is wages. And maybe that's why they're avoiding talking about it now. But this matters for retirees and people with 401ks, people who are living off investments in their old age or whatever. And they're seeing their money go down. And of course, the market taking a hit was going to have a big impact on everybody. Now, the good news is egg prices are down, lower now than when Donald Trump took office. Perhaps it has something to do with Joe Biden killing a bunch of birds. But I do have this post from Mikey Taylor, which I saw this morning. You should follow this guy. He's fantastic. And let me play this clip for you. And are we heading into a recession?
My wife asked me this last night as we were riding bikes with the family and we passed a couple homes that had for sale signs. She said, seems like a lot of houses just hit the market. So what I said back, without even really thinking about it, is I think we've been in a recession for probably about a year now. Now, I know if we look at the numbers, there's been GDP growth, but from a feeling standpoint, and I know you can't always trust your feelings, it's felt like we've been in a recession. And here's why I say it. One, you've been seeing a lot of layoffs in the private sector. In February, there were 172,000 job cuts. That's the highest since the pandemic. Now, the data on the labor market looked good, but the Bureau of Labor Statistics has quietly revised their numbers. numbers, which means there's hundreds of thousands of fewer jobs than reported. In the real estate market, yeah, construction has basically been halted due to interest rates, but something that we've been saying on the assets that we currently own, when looking at our lease up numbers and occupancy numbers, we've been saying for probably 12 months, this feels like a recession. These numbers are what a typical correction look like. Now, since then, the numbers have been looking better. Now, that's my specific portfolio. We'll see what the national numbers look like. And here's what I want to leave everyone with. Now, if we enter a recession, like the media actually promotes it, don't panic. If your job is secure, one of the best things you could do is look for investments at discount. This could be stocks, crypto, real estate. The last time I did this in 2008, I'm not saying it wasn't scary, but oh my gosh, I made some of my best investments during that point. Let me know what you think. Have we been in a recession? Are we heading into?
I think the answer is we have been. And again, it's not new. It's not based on Trump's presidency. This goes back last year when we were saying stores are closing down, department stores are closing down, malls are closing down, people are getting laid off. They're not being honest about the economy. And the numbers, for some reason that were being reported, made it look like everything was great. Well, what we saw, and some progressives were honest about this, is that the wealthy were making more money, the working class were making less, so the average looked pretty dang good. Overall, wealth was going up, but only among those who didn't need it to. And for those that are working class, that's why they voted for Trump, because they were feeling it the whole time. Now the market's facing a correction, and I'll say maybe regular working class people have already been feeling the heat. So the market taking a hit doesn't have as big of an impact as it would have because they've been covering it up the whole time. Trump's trade war may actually be the only thing that actually starts to reverse this, which means it's going to get dark. It's going to get bad. So what can you do? Well, as Mikey was saying, you can find investments at a discount. Not super easy for the average person. A lot of people are losing money on this one. I don't want to give you any advice because I ain't a financial guy. You know, the only thing I can say is don't panic. Try and find someone who can give you some good advice. For me, what I would do is I'd never sell during a panic sell-off. People are dumping crypto. You're seeing the price of Bitcoin go way down to like 76,000. Me,
it's at 82 now.
Me, I'm going to buy the dip if you can.
Buy the dip.
And that's why I says if your job is secure. But again, I'm glad Trump is strong and pushing back on Canada. They have no right to play this game with us. A lot of people don't realize this, but Canada has had massive tariffs on tons of goods forever. Trump is saying,
wait till the news of that gets out.
Why do they
That's
have
the thing. Is like most people don't even know that. Wait till the news of that gets out.
Trade imbalance, this trade deficit with us, that we can't sell to them, but they can sell to us. No way.
Right.
So Trump says, bring it on.
Bring it on.
I hope he gets a handle on this. We want the economy to improve. It's very early. Let's see if he can pull it off. Smash the like button, share the show, follow me on X and Instagram, and we'll see you all in the next segment.
He was talking about me. Do that for me. He already has enough people. He already has enough. He wants me to have more. And there we go. I'm not on Instagram though, so don't go looking for me there. All right. Here we go, guys. Here we go. What do you guys think of that? Have we been in a recession? Yeah, people say like 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. Questioning the logic that it's only been a year. Yeah, I think it's been longer. I think it's been, I would say at least 2, maybe 3, and then, 4 years would be like, yeah, there was like a spiritual recession, but realize the first, incoming years were like, off COVID and off of Trump, good economy. So there's still a little bit of lingering effect there. But yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough, man. We're coming out of it though. Good times are ahead for each and every one of us. And that's why we come together to celebrate each and every week right here on Winning Reality. That's what we're doing. And there's Thomas swinging in sideways with a bunch of stuff to say. How you doing, Thomas? How you doing? All right. Let me see here. Doug Ford's a career. That and his brother reads like a dystopian satirical comedy. Oh man, I bet, man. I bet. That's the Ontario guy, Premier Ford. Okay. Hang on over there. Did I blink out for a second? Did I freeze? I don't know what's going on. Hang on one second. All right. Well, I don't know what's going on this end, but it's doing the thing where it likes to mess with me. Why is that happening? Oh, There we go. That should fix it. Man, I gotta make some changes on this machine. All right, here we go. What's up next, y'all? Oh yeah, we're getting ready to head into press conference time. couple more things I wanted to do before we get getting in there, and this is one of them. When I talk about Dems,
that's what they think. They think they need Al Green again.
Well,
this idiot. Or
Dems imploding. Stop YouTube. Thank you. All right, Dems imploding, and it's coming up with BS. This is I want to go down and just do a quick study on this, and show you guys the degree of what's going on with our good friend Greg Foreman coming in here with a great report called "Black Liberals Cry Racism Over Bill Maher Calling Out Ghetto Democrat Behavior During Trump's Speech." Now, that's the kind of title you can put on a video and people know you and are like ringing the bell and subscribe to you, because that's a mouthful. But it works. It works for him. He's coming up on almost 1 million subscribers. He's about 100,000, 120, 110,000 off. And congratulations to Greg Foreman. He does great work. He deserves it. He works hard. He puts out great content. He has great delivery. And so let's enjoy this together. But I'm gonna have a lot to say about in this one, a lot to say, because oh boy, is this one's gonna get on your skin, but we're gonna come out on top because we're gonna tell them off. That's what we're gonna do. All right, here we go.
What leverage do we have? They control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It's their government. What leverage do we have?
We have them on the run, and we're going to keep our foot on the gas pedal.
I'm totally believing that. That was a persuasive delivery from Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader.
I don't think it's a secret to anyone that Trump has Democrats on their heels. I don't think we need to like pretend that's not happening. You know, admitting you have a problem is the first step to recovery. And I think that the people are trying different things, and it doesn't mean I love every idea, but I identify with that need to try and do something. Yeah.
Well, Senator,
God, the smell in that room.
Boy. So once again, we got to talk about infighting that is happening within the Democrat Party, because the Democrat Party, they're going through a period of reflection. They're trying to figure out exactly why is it that the American people rejected Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party brand for Trump. Okay. And
what is the Democrat Party? It's big government. That's all it is. Hang on a second. It's just a big government brand. That's all it is. And with globalist intent and destroy it's the Agenda 2030 Club is what it is. It's the Agenda 2030 Club. They don't serve a purpose anymore. They don't have a platform. They're full of broken people. They're full of subverted minds. And I don't even understand. Can anybody tell me what their platform is? Nobody even knows what the platform is. Screw kids up, steal from people in this country and give it to people in another country and then get it back into their pockets. What is their agenda? Fake climate crisis, stealing resources, forcing people to tolerate the intolerable, destroying Whitey. I mean, what is their platform? I don't even get it. They're just, to me, though, they are to serve as the example of what not to be. There is nothing there. So I don't know that they didn't have anything to say, but they're sure going to try to use their mind control apparatus to do it. That's why I said that has to be on the table. We have to start dismantling their mind control device, ability to control people's minds, right? Part of that is generationally through education, and part of that is through direct action and overrights in their media landscape. Some of these people are going to age out, but at the same time, you can see that's all they have left, and this is the well where they're going to be lingering in for the next 4 years. And as long as we let them keep being able to do exactly what Levy says here, divide and conquer through narrative-based mind control, they're always going to have some sort semblance of an organization that could potentially run scams and potentially do damage. So we have to do something about that. And plus, it's abusive. Even to those dumb idiots the useful idiots that are trapped under that spell and that don't want to be reached. They seemingly don't want to be reached. They seemingly can't be reached. They're still victims. So even though they don't know that they're victims, we still kind of have a moral duty to try to do something for them from a distance. Maybe we can turn it off. Maybe they'll just snap out of it, kind of like They Lived, when they took down the big antenna on the building and suddenly everybody could see the aliens were and all the subversion that was around them and all the places like that. Maybe we just need to destroy the giant satellite or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's get back to it. Vinyl Pilled, what's up? How you doing?
Got to tell you, the Democrats and their self-reflection, it doesn't seem to be going very well. And one of the reasons why I say that is because even the more moderate Democrats, right? Like, for example, Alyssa Slotkins, who has rose to superstardom within the Democrat Party because she gave the rebuttal to President Trump's joint address, okay? And her rebuttal really was absolutely terrible, to be honest with you. I mean, it was
horrible.
not memorable at all. But anyways, she went
Does anybody remember it?
and she told the cackling hens that, hey, America, the fact that we voted for Trump kind of shows that we're like mindless teenagers. That is the comparison that she made on The View, while again pitching herself as the reasonable moderate. Take a look.
Here on our show, and she said, quote, we have to have a sense of urgency as we move forward, and we cannot do it the way we have in the past. This is not normal. It's a 5-alarm fire. Statistics show.
So then this is they say that, and I told you I would have a lot to say during this one. They say that with a normal voice, like this is not normal. Because you guys have been corrupt and in power, and you've been subverting people. So what's not normal is really what's normal to you. So what's abnormal is normal to you, and what's normal is abnormal to you. So again, evil always inverts the truth. It always inverts reality. And so this is what you're seeing from this person here, this useful idiot, subverter, class A subverter here, on there with another one, right? And that confirming an audience full, a bias full of audience, right? An audience is biased. Whoever watches, whoever's there in the studio, clapping on command like trained seals. That's what they're doing, and they do it in this calm manner. They do it in this very, this very succinct manner, to factually state things that are not factual, right? That's the art of subversion. And I say, remember this: when it comes to subversion, right, and it comes to grifts, whatever, political grifts, other grifts that are out there. Remember the 4 F's. There's 4 F's, right? There's fallacy, there's fear, and then there's what was the other one? I came up with this today. Fallacy, fear, and false faith, right? Having false faith, right? So basically, being asked to take faith on things that are not not provable, right? Just believe it. Oh yeah, just believe what whistleblower told me, or they say that they want, things that you don't even notice when it happens, but there's so many things they say. Take it on my word, take it on faith, but there's nothing behind that, right? So you're suddenly, if you count how many times some of these people ask you to take things on their word, their faith, on faith in their word, you'll have a pile higher than anything else on the table, right? Oh, they asked me really 20 times during that one segment to disbelieve them, right? Just believe me. It doesn't show any receipts, don't show any reasons for it. And when their premises are false, their reasoning is full of fallacies, right? False logic. Well, there you go. And then of course they interject the fear for the buy-in. That's the seasoning there to buy in. You better do it. The world's gonna, so let's listen for the four F's. Why we go through this? Listen to it. Listen for them.
Show the Democrats want an opposition party, not a business as usual party, right? 10 of your colleagues voted to censure Al Green, who met the moment, in my view, by standing up for his constituents who depend on Medicaid and Medicare.
Okay, so yeah, Al Green said he stood up for him. That was, again, an act of fallacy, because his constituents were under any danger. This was his excuse, right? They weren't under any danger of losing their Medicaid or any of that stuff. No, there was no threat to it whatsoever. But that's the excuse he gave. So now she has a false premise here. The premise is on that. This is one statement. The false premise is, well, I thought that was very good for him to stand up for it. But she's buying into his false premise. It's passed down the road. That man, now you hear an idiot at work or whatever, useful idiot at work who listens to the show, or wife listens to the show and told him, oh yeah, that guy was just standing up for Medicaid because Trump was going to take it away. Doesn't know shit about what he just said, did he? Programmed, handing it down from one place to the next, fallacy after fallacy after fallacy.
Here, why are you and other Democrats some people say you and other Democrats are playing it safe and quite frankly not meeting the moment, playing by the rules when it's clear that the Republicans have thrown out the rule book.
Yeah, I think, look, I mean, to me, again, representing a state where people voted for Trump and voted for me, I have responsibility to represent my entire state. But I don't think there's anyone who feels like what's going on right now is normal, even if you voted for Trump, right? I think there's a feeling in the country.
Yeah. Really? That's a false analogy, isn't it? She just made that up. Even how would she know? Even if you voted for Trump, you feel like things aren't right now. Like, look at that crazy lady. Look at her face, right? She's selling. She's in portrayal. It's called portrayal.
Anyone who feels like what's going on right now is normal, even if you
what normal, again, normal, abnormal to you is normal to everybody else. What's normal to you is abnormal to everybody else. You see, that's the sell. But but what is she doing? She's inducing fear.
you voted for Trump, right? I think there's a feeling in the country. I mean, I often say this.
Using feelings to induce fear. You see it?
You know, we're about to turn 250 years old, right? We're still pretty young for a country.
Now she's going to draw this story out, right, about being teenagers. So then she's going to try to trick you into relating to the situation and looking at yourself and your country like a undeveloped teenager.
These are our like our angry teenage years, right? We are going through this push and pull where we're happy, we're sad, we want this, we want that.
This is how she's doing. It's just, I don't know if someone she came up with this herself. Then probably, I mean, part of her job is to be a bullshit artist, right? But, or someone helped her with this. I don't know. Let's think of some way to sell it, like a story, right? People like stories, don't they? So now we're supposed to be convinced because this Karen gets up here and with a bunch of other ones, a bunch of subverted mind control victims sitting on stage, subverting other people. Basically part of you see this, the view is the view of the cycle of abuse. He has this big round thing at the bottom. They're cycling the abuse out to other people. And they, and we're supposed to buy the story now. This is part of the manipulation tactic, right? So she's drawing a false comparison at this point. That's the fallacy itself. So you see the fallacies are starting to build, right? You got your F list handy, keeping track.
And what do you do when you have a teenager who's threatening themselves and others? You just try to get them through this period of.
Really? Is that what you guys do? I thought you guys put them on medicine and institutionalize them and isolate them and do all kinds of bullshit like that. Really? Is that what you really do? Yeah. So the whole story is here. Oh, that what you do, right? You just try to get them to it. You just try to deal with them. They're threatening themselves and others. You just let it go. You just hope it fixes itself, right?
Alive, so that their brain can fully form and you can come back to.
So she's saying that we don't have a brain. So she's saying that we don't have a brain. We don't have a fully developed brain as a country, right? That's what she's saying because Donald Trump is the president, because we have elected to have somebody who gets shit done and who's honest and who is anti-corruption and anti-globalism, an anti-Agenda 2030, and it puts America first, as you're supposed to as Americans, right? Anti-Marxist, right? So those people now we got teenage, undeveloped teenage brains because we don't buy in, right? This is coercion. This is gaslighting in a sense, but it's definitely manipulation.
Kind of what
Are you
a country.
talking about Trump?
No, I'm talking about our country. We're pendulum swinging. We're about.
Are you talking about Trump? I'm so smart and funny.
Pendulum swinging. And so for me, I think I don't think there's a single American who feels like this is normal. And therefore the response.
You don't think so? You don't get out much, do you? I mean, you don't think there's a single American that thinks it's normal? I think it's great. I think we're getting back to normal. Is what we're seeing is we're getting back to normal. Things haven't been normal in a long time. Normal is operating constitutionally. Normal is operating with integrity and honesty. Normal is not saying one thing and doing is doing what you say, having integrity, having an honest system. That would be normal. But the problem here is Karen grew up in an abnormal world, and that's what she thinks normal is. And now she is an advocate for abnormality. She's now become a tool of subversion. And that's what we're talking about right here. And so now she's out. She's the big mouth, right? She's the big mouth. We'll probably have to hear from her again. But here's what she's doing.
5-alarm fire? I think what the
president... Is it a 5-alarm fire? Is it? Should I inject some fear really quick? See, there's the fear. That's the seasoning. That's how you keep selling it. Because yes, but here's a story. Here's a story. I drew a picture for you. And now I'm going to fill up some of this nice fear salt on top of it and make it nice and salty for you. There you go. And then you buy the sizzle, right? That's the fear. It's just 5-alarm. They got a fire in the background. Looks like a fire in the background, doesn't it? 5-alarm fire. Is that it? Are we all going to die soon if we don't do something? Is that right? No, kittens are going to be eaten by, dogs or not.
President is doing to our economy. You all just talked about it this morning. I mean, people may not know the federal budget. They know their own home budget, and they know exactly how much they're spending. So I think whether it's the economy, whether it's our national security, right, cutting people who keep us safe, and then handing over places like Ukraine to a guy like Putin.
Another lie. Handing over Ukraine to a guy like Putin. Is that what's going on? Top story tonight. President gets a ceasefire agreement. Is that handing it over to Putin? Or is that what we're doing? Lies and lies and lies and lies.
Or our democracy, right? Threats to
threats to the democracy. When she says it, it means corrupt establishment ruling over everybody. That's what's normal to her and to these other subverters on the stage here, performing an act to manipulate the brains and minds of people that are willingly subjecting themselves to this garbage.
Who we are as a democracy.
Who we are, that we are a democracy, too, who we are. Oh my God. Again, look at yourself. Look what you've become. You're like a brain dead teenager, right? And that's what she's saying that you are. If you were with these guys and you are not smart, you're underdeveloped, you're immature. Right? And this fear, it's a 5-alarm fire. Oh my goodness. And it's not normal. And nobody, even the Trump people, don't think it's normal, guys. I know you don't talk to them. I know you don't see their social media. I know you don't listen to their media in any way, shape, or form. I know you guys don't do that. So I'll tell you for it so you don't have to. That's what they're thinking. Oh, really? Wow. Oh, so everybody hates him. I should hate him too, right? I should be against everything he does, right? Wow, Dad, thank God. So then I can just go back to sleep. Yeah, get him out of there so I can go back to sleep. I can just go back to drinking and smoking my life away. Go back to sleep, watching dumb shit on TV. That's what I can do. That way I don't have to worry about it. You guys got it under control. Corrupt establishment, take care of me.
I think that we are absolutely in extraordinary times, and it requires an extraordinary response.
Yeah. So what you have
extraordinary response. Okay, Greg, take it away.
Here is the so-called moderate Democrat. Once Democrats and their push towards being moderate, right? Even the people they march out there and tell you, hey, these are fake Democrats. It's all fake, right? It's all fake. It's all phony, because you can't be a so-called moderate and then turn around and say, well, there's a 5-alarm fire and that the American people that voted for Trump, they're like mindless teenagers, right? The American people, we don't know what to do, right? And it's almost like, okay, well, you're insulting the American people, okay, because of the way they chose to vote. Also, on top of that, again, if you're a so-called moderate and you actually want to work with the president, then we're not in a 5-alarm fire, right? I mean, let's be real. This country is going to be fine, right? We're going to be fine, especially with President Trump in charge. But again, what the extremists want from Democrats is to pretend as if the world is on fire and that the world is going to end under Trump. And you just can't do that, right? You cannot sit here and continue to rage about everything, which is what Democrats have been doing. And again, the so-called moderates, they don't have an answer for that, right? The answer for them is to keep raging because they continue to try to appeal to these extremists.
Senator, do you agree with Governor Newsom?
Well, look, I think, you'll have to talk to Mr. Newsom and his podcast, and we're all talking about it now because it's, good controversy. For me, I mean, I grew up playing 3 seasons of sports. In Michigan, sports is like our religion, right? I wouldn't be here, I think, without the leadership training that I got in women's sports. But for me, it's like, let the local community figure this out, right? In Michigan, we have a process in place where if someone who's born a boy wants to play in women's sports, you have to get a waiver. We've had it happen 2 times in our entire state. So let the local communities, just like everything with schools, handle that issue. For me, though, I think, this issue is being sort of brought up in order to make sparks and see sparks fly.
Yeah, so as you can see, the so-called moderate Democrat can't even take the most.
Hang on a second. Let me check something out. Okay, we're good. I had to get a drink real quick. Hang on a second. Did she just say that she's in favor of ending the Department of Education? I'm pretty sure she did. I'm pretty sure I just heard her say that. Hold on, let's back it up. I'll meet the press, old Slutsky.
So let the local communities, just like everything with schools, handle that issue.
Oh, yes, she is. So she is. She's pro in Department of Education. Let the local schools handle everything. Busted. So this is the thing that you get this and clip it, right? And then put it out there. Slutsky calls for the end of Department of Education. There you go. That should give her some fun to play with, right? Because she just said it. Oh, and it's only happened 2 times in Michigan. Only 2 times in Michigan did we have to deal with this waiver thing. Right. So when the rest of us are stupid, none of us watched what happened with the Olympics or with women swimming or any of those people, those young women that were at the president's address. Did you miss that, Miss Slutsky? Did you not show up for that? Let me fill you in. There was a girl there who got hit with a volleyball on the head by a boy pretending to be a girl in school sports. So hard, right? Her life is now altered. The rest of her life is altered. She was on her way to greatness in volleyball, and now she struggles every single day with mental issues and physical issues. Does that sound like a good thing? Did your waiver protect against that? But I'm with her on the Department of Education. We should end that shit, right? Let's go.
For me, though, I think, this issue is being sort of brought up in order to make sparks and see sparks fly.
See sparks fly. It just brought up see sparks fly. I bet you that girl that got hit in the face with the volleyball saw some sparks flying too, didn't she? I bet she sure did. I bet she did. I bet she saw stars and sparks everywhere, right? As her brain was bouncing off the back of her skull. How about the boxer and the boxers in the Olympics? They got hit so hard, they didn't want to go back in. Think they were seeing some sparks flying too? I bet they were. Are sparks flying when records set by women in sports are being erased by leaps and bounds by trans posers? That's some sparks too. Just some sparks. Just like the 4th of July. We're just having a little party here.
Yeah, so as you can see, the so-called moderate Democrat can't even take the most basic position that any Democrat that calls himself a moderate should be able to take, which is that, hey, biological boys should not compete against biological girls in sports. Can't do it, right? Can't do it. Okay, but again, these are the people that are trying to sell to the American people that they're sane, right? They're sane, okay?
She
some
said
Democrat strategists, again, they're just not buying it. Like, for example, Liz Smith, who admitted out loud that, the Democrat Party, we are embracing our extremists too much. We're taking too many extreme positions.
It's not just that Donald Trump won the election, it's that Democrats lost the election.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Is that what you think it is? Is that what you think it is? Miss Ooface? Now, who are these people? Like, she said they had special things to work on. She gets really strategic in this, right? She gets really strategic. We're going to have to start acting like them to fool them so that we can get back in power. Kind of like the Obama face, right? Obama face. We got to start putting on our Obama faces, right? We got to lie like there's no tomorrow. Pretend that we're okay with shit, and then so we can get back into power and then put things back the way we want it, and then slam the door and lock it so nobody else can ever come in. This is the long-term shit I'm talking about. Right? Keeping an eye on who's going to be doing what down the road so they can't do it again. Because last time we want to do is go to round 50,000 with these guys. We got them on the ropes and their knees are buckling. We need to land the final blow. and make it so that they can't get back in, right? We make it so that they can't ever, not this group, another group wants to be a big government group or whatever. Because what are the Democrats? What do they really do? Like I said, what is their platform? What is their purpose other than to show people how not to be American? They don't really have a purpose. It's just that this mind control, this idea that this archetype of American politics is like, well, you got the Democrats and the Republicans. What the fuck does a Democrat do? You know, this is what started me down this whole road. These questions, I just remember this, right? These questions I'm asking right now, what started me down, I had no real interest in politics way back when. None at all. Just want to have a good time. And what started me is like when I started asking, well, what do they do? I mean, what's the difference between the two, right? And then you get the generic responses like, well, that doesn't make any sense to me. You know, people try to throw those generic responses at me. Even when I wasn't interested in politics, I had to be like, but that doesn't make any sense, right? Let me ask some more questions. Let me ask more. And the more I asked, the less people could answer. They just went to then the venom and all the other shit started. But it's like, well, what do you guys really do? So you try to look at the policies. Well, you know, they you ask like 10, 20, 30 people. What do they really do? And nobody can explain it. Well, you know, they have like social programs and they want to make sure the poor people are taken. Really? No, the other side doesn't. I mean, it's just, well, it's about, so what it comes down to is like policies, right? Are solutions. So maybe it's solutions, right? So their solutions are always more debt, more spending, bigger government. That's what I'm saying. They're just big government. Well, then I was like, okay, all right. So that's their solutions. It's about solutions. So what's the other side supposed to be? Well, they're supposed to be conservative. What does that mean? And thinking of that, this is back in the neocon days. This is back when the false left paradigm was still well intact. This is back when the illusion of choice was still there, right? And I was like, what about these other guys, these Bush guys, right? What are they doing? Well, they're supposed to be against big government. Really? But they keep expanding government. So they're not really against big government, are they? Right? Well, the Democrats, they're like anti-war, but they're still Obama. They're still going to war. In fact, they're going to more wars. How's that? See, nothing made sense. And that's when you knew, that's when it was really clear about the false left-right paradigm. Right? You know, I mean, if you don't get it by them, you just get it like, what are they supposed to do? What's the platform supposed to be? Well, the conservatives are supposed to be like this. Well, these guys don't seem very conservative to me. Well, the liberals are supposed to be this. Well, these guys don't seem very liberal to me. So neither one of them are even living up to their name. I was like, you know what? I should look up the definitions of these words. People have been using them their whole life around me. And I just accept them for what they are and say, well, that's that and that's that. So I managed to really learn what the definitions of these words are. Right. So when I learned the definitions of these words and I learned the platforms of these parties, I realized that neither one of them were what they said they were. Right. So, yeah, lying to your face about what they really stand for to get in, telling you on a lie for power. And that's the difference between what we have now and what we had then. It took kicking the neocons out of the GOP to do that. Right. And people can try to believe that false left-right paradigm is still there. I mean, only the establishment, mind control victims, and a few unsophisticated people outside of it don't get yet the struggle it took to get rid of the neocons. How many hours when they were watching TV and smoking pot or whatever they were doing, right? There were those of us out there burning our hours day in and day out, trying to spread this message out there to wake people up, so that we had a fighting chance to ever turn this thing around. And if it wasn't for the fact that we took the GOP away from the neocons and the rhinos and had the people we have now, this was a long-term process. You know, yeah, I remember back trying to get someone like Rand Paul elected for the first time. Long-term process. Longer than most people probably realize who think they know shit, right? They that this was essential to being where we're at today, to even having a shot at doing what we're doing today. It's essential to it. With the Ron Paul revolution set the standard and it woke people up, reintroduced the philosophy of liberty, woke people up to the understanding of a false left-right paradigm that was in place, the illusion of choice, by offering a real choice than Ron Paul. And while that was not, he didn't have all the tools to get to the finish line, he was the catalyst for where we're at today. Never forget that, right? And never forget the fight it took. So people want to say, well, I don't trust Republicans or Democrats. Well, dude, the Republicans that you were born into this society, you were born in this world, they aren't there anymore. And there's a few lingering issues with some of them, right? And I know we didn't quite get the job done in 2016, but this is a different day. So we got to keep fighting. We got to fight through the midterms, and we got to fight to the next election. We need multiple back-to-back runs to get the shit straight. And then pretty soon they'll be doing like these Republicans now are actually living up to the platform. They're actually living up to the word conservative, and conservative plus based, like actually not overboard. The neocons set a bad archetype for Republicans but they were never really Republicans. They were never really Republicans. They're neoconservatives, which came from the left, the Trotskyites. They're old Go look up go do yourself a favor and go look at the history of the neoconservative movement. Find out where they go find out who Urban Kristol is, the founder of it. Find out who he was hanging in front. They got great interviews out there with them. I did a whole thing on it. But go educate yourself. That's what I did. That's how I got to where I'm at today. That's how I learned the things I did along the way. I went and watched those things. I went and learned about them. When I had an idea and I wanted to learn something, I took the idea. I was like, well, what the hell is a neoconservative? I got to go find out. And I drilled down to I questioned the void, drilled down to the root, and figured out where they started from and what they were all about. Right. And then it became very obvious that they weren't there for the right reasons in that party. What they were trying to do was something completely different. And by the way, the other party never really stopped them, did they? They went along with it. You don't see any kind of combat between those guys. Go back in time. Oh, well, I want this and I want that. And then the other person would win, right? Nothing would change. That's what Ron Paul was said. Regardless of party, nothing changed. Who's really calling the shots, right? That was a bad. That was a version of what he said. But when a change in party brings about no change at all, who's really calling the shots, right? We don't have that anymore. Now we have real opposition. Now with the illusion, now we have real choice. The illusion of choice has been shattered. The neocons are over on the left where they belong, right? Dick Cheney, the Bushes, all this people are over there where they belong and where they were always at, right? They were just guarding the right. They were just faking it. That's what you got to understand. All right, let's get back to this.
And as a party, we can't orient ourselves completely around Donald Trump, right? We need to look under the hood and have tough conversations with ourselves about the things that are going wrong. And I'll keep this quick because I know you got questions, but
you can't have that tough conversation. I mean, you could try. What you means is we need to strategize on how to fool people into letting us back into power.
This is the main problem with the Democratic Party. It is too small. Why is it too?
The main problem with the Democratic Party is your ideology and what you stand for and what you're really up to. That's the real problem. You're corrupt, and you have corrupt leadership. You have corrupt money. You do the wrong things. You're immoral. That's the real problem with the Democratic Party. But she's coming at it from a strategy standpoint. We're too small. You're probably figuring that out, huh?
Too small because we're not winning elections. Why are we not winning elections?
Because we're too small.
No, because we are taking.
No, you're not winning elections because your policies suck, your people suck, and people don't like being abused and lied to. And when they wake up to it, they become your worst enemy, right, guys? That's right. Suggesting Winning's video about 2025 project is a good idea. Yep. My mom was the first in the family on the Trump train. Your mom is a smart lady. Your mom's a smart lady. Anything else I'm missing out here from this awesome crowd? Let's see. Democrats have less than 30% approval rating. They don't represent anybody. I don't believe they have that much. I don't either. And I believe they're going to be getting less. But they're a dying breed. But there's going to be strategists. There's going to be like groups like this where these people get together and I hope you guys are getting this. Like the longer you've been hanging out with me, I hope it's starting to become more and more and more apparent when you see things like this. These people are boxing a narrative. Some of them are complete evil. Some of them just don't know any better. You know, they lived a lifetime inside of this box. They're in Plato's cave. Remember the veils of perception board, right? The first veil, ignorance. That's where they're at. They live in a different reality. They don't live in a true reality. They live in the establishment's version of reality. The boxed in narrative, the first veil. The veil is up. They can't see past it. And that's where they're making their decisions and their thoughts. That's the mind control. That's how it works. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to show. There we go.
We are taking positions that definitionally make it impossible to win elections.
Right. Such as
look at Kamala Harris. In 2020, in that infernal primary of which I, was a part, she was locked into supporting decriminalizing all border crossings, gender reassignment surgery for undocumented immigrants,
paid for by taxpayers, in prison.
Payers.
Yeah, not taxpayers, but the people getting the surgery.
Banning all fracking, right? And we got. I'm sorry, I'm going to cuss here, but we got to stop that shit. We are doing
we got to stop saying what we really stand for. I mean, hey, look, I at least can respect the ones that come out there and say, hey, look, I'm fucking crazy, right? I can at least respect them. I mean, this going back to the Obama face, wearing Obama face, trying to sell us that you're not as evil and corrupt as you really are. Very neocon of you.
President Obama had a great sort of motto about foreign policy for his White House, which is don't do stupid shit. We need to adopt that motto for the DNC and.
But that's all he did. You see what I'm saying? That was the thing about Obama. He'd lie right to your face. This is sure shit. I just love it. He is a greasy, slimy salesman, communist, red diaper communist salesman. They don't give a fuck what you think. It's about the bottom line. It's about getting the job done. It's about following through and getting the agenda done. They don't care if they lie to you. They don't care what you think. They just want your vote. They just want to manufacture your consent. Right? They just want to own your hearts and minds, and then they're going to line you up against the wall when the time comes. Like all the people that supported him, right? Right? All the white people that supported him. He wouldn't have got elected without the white people, right? All those people, right? Threw him right under the bus. Oh, now you guys are in the back of the line. Oh, that's what's right, right? Instead of we're going to bring about equality in a different kind of way, right? All the racial stuff, all the racial division that we're living through right now, Obama stoked all that shit up. The 90s and 80s were peaceful, 70s, peaceful times in race relations. We all got along. We all loved each other. We all figured out how to get along. And he came along and fucked it all up, didn't he? He came. See, sorry if I'm being a little bit cursory tonight. He came along and really messed up a good thing. But he sold it to us like, don't do stupid shit, like start a race war.
Democratic Party writ large, because we shouldn't have lost. How did we lose to a guy who had 34 felonies?
Okay, here comes the mind control. We shouldn't have lost. How do we lose to a guy who had 34 felonies? Well, people knew they were bullshit because you made those felonies up. Right. And we did a good job staying on top of it and letting people know. Right. And people can relate to being railroaded by this corrupt system. They can relate to it. And that's where you guys screwed up. That's where you're really, 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 really screwed it up. Is that you made them relatable to everyday persons that you guys were screwing over all the time. But she doesn't understand that. She thinks those felonies are real. Right. And so enter the world of the mind controlled. Here we go. We shouldn't have lost that. You guys were always going to lose that. You shouldn't have. What the truth is you shouldn't have won 2020. That's the truth. You shouldn't have won 2020. The whole idea that you guys had a resurgence in 2020 is again part of this mind control that she's under.
Guilty of all these things, who was called like American Hitler a week before the election, all that. It wasn't because
we called him names. It didn't work. We called him American Hitler. It didn't work. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. She's all in all of this stuff. She can't believe it. Well, I don't understand it because you can't see past the veil to the true nature of reality. You are a useful idiot.
We weren't mean enough, and because people didn't know that he was this morally flawed human
being. Oh yeah, sitting right. I bet you the two people on this screen are a lot more morally flawed than President Trump is.
Being. It's because they thought that we were weird. They thought that we were out of touch.
And well, you know, people do wise up to things like that eventually, right? Don't they?
We did not listen to enough people and talk enough about the need to secure the border and lower costs. So
is that the lesson?
Because you didn't mean it. Oh, yeah, we really want to support the border. We really want to secure it. You didn't do it in 4 years. No one's going to believe you. This woman is so delusional.
That the Democrats are taking from it, though, because I hear some that the feeling is that she abandoned those great liberal positions.
So some are there. Some of us are trying to chart a new path, a better path. And
oh, really? What is that? What is your new path going to be? Some of us, you and this guy with the puka shell necklace, you and Puka over here, you guys are going to do it. You're going to be the clown Obama face party. You're going to come out and lie to people now? Is that what the thing is on your delusions?
Stay tuned. There'll be some news on that. But
stay tuned. There'll be some news. I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Sure
and look, if you look at, again, I did a lot of research here. And I
a
looked
lot
at
of research. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Ads of the top overperformers in the House this year. And I actually worked with 5 of the 6 top Democratic overperformers in the House. They won, not because they ran as Democrats. They won because they ran against the Democratic.
Not because they won, not because
brand.
Yeah. So you see,
they ran against the Democratic brand. That's why they won. That's the whole thing. Is that they bright light. That's the whole thing that I'm trying to say here with this. One of the things. We're gonna get to some other things here in a minute. But one of the things is this, that beware these other Democrats. They want the same things. They're just not going to tell you that. They're a lot more devious. They're a lot more devious than at least the bald face, the overconfident, the cocky, ones that are in there. I like the cocky ones better because they tell you what they're going to do. These are the dangerous ones. These are the ones that are going to put on an Obama face. Just remember that. And then she just said, reason why these people, these top performing, maybe Slocum was, or Slutsky, or whatever her name is, was one of the girls at this little, she has the same haircut, could be, but this girl was around, right? Overperforming Democrats because they ran against the Democrat bullshit. And that's the thing, is that there's some people that still have that lingering bullshit in their head about the false left right paradigm, where George Bush is a Republican in their mind. Right? Or Mitt Romney is a Republican in their mind. That's still lingering. That programming is still there. That archetype is still there. They still believe that shit. So they're like, well, I'd still rather vote for a Democrat. They still have the old archetypes built in their mind. We have to break those down so that people like this can't put on an Obama face and gain power.
Won, not because they ran as Democrats. They won because they ran against the Democratic brand.
Yeah. So you seen that, you heard that. Okay. Essentially what that strategist is saying, which, I largely agree with in regards to, yes, the Democrat Party, they are a party of weirdos, freaks, low testosterone men, and high calorie women, right? And yes, that's part of the reason why they lost, is because they're in bed with lunatics, right? Which makes them take very, very, very silly positions. Okay. Like, for example, continuing to defend biological boys competing against biological girls in sports. It just doesn't make sense. Again, this is an 80-20 issue that the American people have already decided that, hey, we are against that, right? But Democrats are like, no, we're going to stand against the American people. And they believe that in order to overcome their bad policy positions, that Democrats, again, they just need to rage against Trump more. Just be more Trump deranged. In fact, start cursing, right? Start cursing, which is something that Democrats are doing, okay? The Democrats are becoming the potty mouth party, right? They're embracing ghetto behavior, okay, which is what Jasmine Crockett put on display during the joint address to Congress, and she got some backlash for it. Even Bill Maher came out and said, hey, you're talking like a podcaster. This is unprofessional. This is not the type of leadership that we want out of the Democrat Party for a time like this. And you have the extremists, aka the race hustlers, and the progressive lunatics. They've now come out and now after Bill Maher for basically trying to advocate for Democrats to, be a little bit more professional, right? To carry yourself in a way that shows that you're a serious party. But no. The extremists of the Democrats, they're not going to allow that. That is racist.
He's hearing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we weren't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't. You know, we showed up. And if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do for sure. We got some cool shirts. We got Madam Williams.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada.
Again, the false narrative. Who are the proprietors of the false narratives and the mind control out there? Old ghetto Brown here, like, right? So why are we fighting with Greenland? Why are we fighting with Canada? Why are we fighting Mexico? We ain't fighting with nobody. We're not fighting with anybody. We're not fighting with Greenland. Why are we fighting with them? So that's for low information people. Her low information base will buy into this, right? Her low information base will be like, get the sound bite, right? And let's listen to her again. Look at that. Good trouble. She can't even put on her camera on, right? And she's still got those damn pearls on.
Williams.
Talk about like Skull and Bones. There, you know, people want to talk about Skull and Bones. They all talk about like some of that sorority that Kamala Harris was in. They're turning out a lot of subversive people too.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland?
You don't even know. What's your damn job? Shouldn't you understand what policy is going on there? Should you understand why there's interest in there? You don't know. You should be fired for not knowing that.
Greenland, we fighting with Canada.
What, you don't understand what's going on? She's a portrayal. This is an act. This is an act to invoke emotions in people and trigger programming. This is part of it. Does she know what she's doing? No, but she's acting out. She knows she's basically on autopilot at this point. I mean, did she think about, okay, I need to act out now to do this? No, but something tells her to do that. Something tells her to do that to be effective in manipulating people. That's the training. That's the programming that's working right here, right? And until this type of behavior is not tolerated in positions of responsibility, and people like her are removed from these kind of positions of responsibility, important positions of responsibility, where integrity and knowledge and honesty is needed in order for it to be correct or correctly. You'll always have a subversive element coming after those of us who just want to be left alone and live peacefully and prosper and in prosperity, and understand how the world really should work from an honest point. So, good trouble. Is this the 1960s? Is that what it was? Yeah. So they're encouraging people to become, get themselves in trouble, become felons, become idiots.
Fighting with Mexico. Yeah, we in love with
Putin. See, this is all acting. This is not how a professional acts. I mean, it should be acting. It's not how a professional should be conducting themselves. At her level. Well, I don't know about nothing. I don't know on this. I don't know about that. Wait, now we're all crazy now. And listen to me and do what I say. What is this? This is like performance art.
What is happening? Like this?
You don't know.
This is not America.
It is America. You just don't know where you at. You think you're on TV, girl.
Terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up, because
I'll do it. Anybody want to volunteer for that? Shelly, will you slap her and wake her up? I get Shelly to do it. I'll get Shelly to do it.
I'm ready to get on with it.
That while
you're ready to get on with it and get on getting.
May not have the numbers just yet. That doesn't mean that we don't have fight left in our bodies. And so
we shall overcome. Right? You're gonna overcome, girl. You're getting oppressed by the white man. I mean, look at this. This is the person who's like one of the top leaders of the Democratic Party right now.
I am going to fight him every step of the way.
You're going to fight him every step. You're going to make a fool out of yourself every step of the way. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
Until we get what we deserve.
What is Tamika doing up here? Is she just watching this?
Because it was my ancestors that built this motherfucker. Okay.
Oh, really? Your ancestors built this motherfucker. Is that true? Is that what you think? Yeah, all of us have sat around drinking pina coladas. Hey, wow, we'll watch the black people build everything. We didn't come up with anything. We didn't come up with the money. We didn't come up with the labor. We didn't come up with the tools. We didn't come up with the property. We didn't come up with anything. We didn't do anything. We sat around in lawn chairs drinking pina coladas. Ha! Build that now, right? Everything. We didn't come over here on the boats and brave the wilderness. We didn't hang on to it for hundreds of years. We didn't kill each other in a civil war to free the slaves. We didn't lose our sons, our daughters, our mothers and our fathers in the war against the British to free the country from tyranny. We never lifted a finger to do a damn thing. That's the way she thinks. And this is a person that's in like top high level Democrat Party. That's the mind control. And the sad part about it is, right? The sad part about it is she's influencing young minds. She's subverting young minds with fallacy, with fear, and with false faith. And what she's saying, take my word for it. I know. Look, listen to what this guy's gonna say about her next.
I'm done now. I'm done.
First of all, thank you for making the back of my head famous. But second of all, if we could do a sequel, if you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe.
Jasmine Crow.
Again, soundbite, right? Soundbite. Nothing. Portrayal. I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe. Really? Who can take that person seriously? But somebody out there who really has been programmed to hate Trump's like, yeah, girl, go on, girl, you do it. Oh, hey, pass the bong. Pass the bottle. Right? People are out there buying that shit. That sucks. I feel bad for them. They always have. But I mean, look at where they're at right now. Look how they're coping. They're imploding. This is what they got. This is the best they got. I'm more scared of the white girl with the Karen haircut than that one. Because she's Machiavellian. She's thinking about how to lie her way back into power. She's like, we're going to put a whole group together full of fucking liars. Right? We're coming for you. We got our Obama masks on. We're putting them on right now. Hey, yeah, we're your friend. We're your friend. Now turn around. Just turn around. Yeah. See that's just a little knife going across your neck. Didn't that feel good? Did that feel good? Oh, you feel that nice warm feeling? Yeah, that's your blood. It's okay. It's good for you. Right? They I mean, well, at least Jasmine will stab you in the front, right? She's like, I got you now. Back leftists bragging about their ancestors while white leftists piss on their ancestors' graves. Well, yeah, that's part of the Marxism. Doesn't it feel nice to have some nice Marxism in there for you? Yeah, it's all ghetto. Yeah, just really bringing up her community. And here all this reminds me of the same old line they used to use about Trump not being presidential. Now what do you have? Yeah, right? Good point, Vinyl. Good point. She's lowering the standards, letting kids think that this is all they need to be in government. Yeah, right. That's how we have to get rid of it. Fallacy. Yep. On fire when I hold my beer, I'll slap one side of her. Oh, thank you, Heidi. There you go. You guys do dual slaps. Now you guys can practice your super kicks. Get the USO girls in there. All right. So she takes one to no one. Takes one to no one, right? Yep. All right. Yeah, the Slotskis are more dangerous. They are. All right, let's get through this. We got some stuff to do.
Rocket, who is, I thought, a big leader in the Democratic Party. Her quote is, "This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up because I'm ready to get on with it." On with what would be my first question. And also, this is the way this is like how a podcaster talks or some shit. Fuck it, man. Can you imagine? I don't know, Obama saying, "Oh, man, dude, this shit is whack. Fuck it. Just slap me. I'm fucking over it." I mean, come on, man.
I can kind of imagine them doing that. Oh yeah, and the black folks are turning. They are turning on Mar now.
Talk about bitch assness. That's Bill Maher. Oh my God. What must we do? A member of Congress was actually cursing. You got.
Is it just me or is this guy the black nerd or something?
Donald Trump, who gave a speech calling Colin Kaepernick a son of a bitch. you got the language that he's used. Bill Maher, go to hell, you asshole. My deal, I am so sick of his whiny ass. He wants, Democrats to fight. Now he's whining. Oh my gosh, she's talking like a podcaster. Like, do you know how many members of Congress I've talked to who actually curse? I know preachers who curse. Shut the hell up, Bill Maher. Go smoke a blunt.
He can't smoke a blunt because he is an ass. He's a blunt himself. Listen, a blunt tool for stupidity. Bill Maher, to me, for a long time, has been anti-black. And I know a lot of people say they don't believe that. Bill Maher is racist as hell. This is just a reminder of that.
Oh, there they go. They're throwing you under the bus, Bill. Someone clip this and send this to Bill Maher. Time for you to see who you've really been hanging out with. Yeah, these are your people. These are your people. They think you're a racist, Whitey. Yeah, you've been a racist for them the whole time you've been sticking up for them. The whole time you've been enabling that party. You're the racist. Of course, we all know the Democrat Party is the party of the Ku Klux Klan. Nothing ever changed unless you're an idiot and believe that somehow both parties just said, hey, let's switch seats. Who would do that? Why? Because suddenly now you want smaller government? This is your people, Bill. Aren't you glad you picked that side? Will Bill Maher be voting Republican by 2028? Stay tuned.
The idea or the audacity of him to have a problem with Jasmine Crockett was the
Audacity.
who shows up to
listen to this.
More prepared than anybody in every fucking committee.
She shows up to work, according to this cuck. She shows up to work more prepared than anybody else on committee. Jasmine Crockett, the ghetto actress that was just performing for us a minute ago. She's the most prepared? I don't think so. Maybe on your side. But not on ours. No. But you aren't very prepared. You're prepared to lie to people, to convince people, to manipulate them. You're prepared to play the race card on your own team. We're all laughing at you, dude. You're a joke.
So no one is more prepared than this representative, and I know that. I'm there. I'm watching.
You know that? Would you be willing to bet on it? Would you be willing to bet some money? Would you be willing to put some money down on that? Why don't you put some money down on it? Let's put some money down on that. How much money you got? And what you want to do? What you got? Let's put some money down on it. Most prepared. She didn't know what was going on in Greenland. She had no idea. She doesn't know what's going on in Canada, Mexico. She didn't know why we find everywhere. I don't know what's going on. That was prepared. How much money you got? How much money you got? Why don't you put the money down? Dude? Let's go. Where's the money, Gary?
First of all, Bill, this is how you talk, right?
Oh,
now he's like,
God.
I'm a comedian, so I'm allowed to talk like that. But second of all,
One of these
we've been
guys.
hearing from people for over a decade now. We need Democrats to be more authentic, more real, more raw. Stop being so highly calculated. Stop being a
He's got a gold plaque on his wall. What the hell is going on with his hair?
political robot who sounds like a machine, who doesn't sound like a human being. Then Jasmine Crockett comes along and sounds like a human being, is real and raw and honest and speaking from the heart. And you're like, oh, I don't like this. Let's go back to the robots. Let's go back to the talking point machines. Let's go back to the polished politicians. I don't know if you noticed, Bill, Donald fucking Trump is sitting in the White House. Does it seem like Americans are in the mood for a highly polished politician who stays on script? Or does it seem like Americans want what Jasmine Crockett is now selling?
No, there's a difference. There's a difference between an educated, assured businessman who knows what the hell he's doing and a ghetto actress performing to incite and further the mind control problem in her community, right? To further abuse people with a corrupt establishment narrative and a lack of information, to abuse low information people with sound bites. Yeah, that's a big difference. When nobody wants to hear, Letitia talk about her, act out emotionally. Nobody wants to see that. You think that's what they want? And maybe you like it because you obviously like weird things, like hairstyles. How does he have a gold plaque on his wall, man? What does this guy do? I gotta get like a blazer and a button-down shirt or something. Should I bleach my hair and act like an idiot? All right. Maybe that'll get me a gold plaque, huh? Wait, hold on. What he said that if it was Calvin Winslow, I might have a little respect for him. NFL back in the who was that guy? Was he a football player? He's probably got some money to bet on that. I'm serious. I want that bet. Holy bleach blonde weirdo. Yeah. You know what he does after the show.
We all know the answer to that. Oh my God. It's never enough, right? It's never, you have and he was like, oh, Democrats are lost. Yeah, the Democrats who are lost are your Democratic friends like Hakeem Jeffries, the leadership who doesn't know their fucking ass from their elbow, don't know how to resist, don't know how to fight, don't believe in fucking anything except getting more money from the Silicon Valley robber barons that are now taking over the government. Those are the ones that are lost. The ones who are not lost are the guy with the cane, as you said, and Jasmine Crockett, right? Those are the ones who are showing leadership, showing a belief in something bigger and more important than themselves.
Wow. The
right,
Democrats
laughing.
are in shambles. Right? They're in shambles. They're imploding. They're in free fall.
Starlight.
Zero clue what they want to do, right? Or what direction they want to go in because they're being pulled in all directions. Okay. Again, the main problem with the Democrats, again, nobody is calling this out the way I'm calling it out, right? Because obviously these lunatics, they can't evaluate their own party, right? As an outsider, okay? I'm telling you, the biggest problem with the Democrats is the fact that they lack masculine male leadership. That is by far the number one problem, right? It's not that they need to curse more or that they need to act ghetto or, they need to oppose Trump more. They need to be more outraged. No, they need masculine male leadership, which they severely lack. Okay. The problem with the Democrats is that they have too many low testosterone men and high calorie women leading their party.
Low
right?
testosterone men and high calorie women. Sounds like a song.
That's it. That's the biggest problem. That is what's causing them to be Trump deranged no matter what. That is what's causing them to be in bed with these race hustlers and these extremists, right? These extremists that think, oh yeah, it's a good look for Jasmine Crockett to be acting ghetto, right? That's a great look.
Oh yeah, it's a great
look. She's the leader that we need, right? Loud and ratchet. That's what we need. That's the type of leadership we need. We should just cry over Trump, just to be cried over Trump, right? That's what they think. They think they need Al Green. Again, this idiot on the House floor got kicked out for heckling the president. 80% of American people agree with it. Okay. A vast majority of American people, they want Democrats to work with President Trump. But again, these extremists keep telling the Democrats, no, you must oppose Trump no matter what. It's a 5-alarm fire, right? Trump is terrible. Everything is terrible. And again, as long as you have that mentality, which again, it comes from emotional people, right? Emotional people have that mentality. As long as Democrats have the emotional leadership that they have, they're not going anywhere, right? If you had a masculine male leader of the Democrat Party, truly masculine male leader, Democrats would be taking these Looney Tune positions. Like, for example, they would not be advocating for biological boys to compete against biological girls in sports, which is a subject, an issue that Democrats have failed to overcome, right? They can't even move on to any other issue until they get that one right, right? If they had masculine male leadership, they wouldn't be opposing President Trump no matter what. If they had masculine male leadership, they wouldn't be embarrassing themselves on the House floor trying to find all types of ways, desperate ways to oppose President Trump, okay? Every problem you're seeing with the Democrats right now is because they lack masculine male leadership. That's the problem. And until they solve that problem, they will continue to be lost, right?
I hope
they
you're
don't
right.
have
So
a
never
man
gonna
that
solve
can
that
grab
problem.
the Democrat Party by the cojones and say, this is what we're doing, right? You're not going to make a fool out of us on the House floor, okay? You're not going to have these cringy protests. We're going to stand for common sense.
Thanks for
We're
being
not going
here.
to oppose Trump on everything. We're going to agree with the president and actually work with the president on issues that make sense that American people want us to work with the president on. Like, for example, when it comes to securing the border, when it comes to mass deportations, when it comes to stopping the woke agenda, when it comes to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse out of the government, we are going to stand for something. And we're not going to just stand against Trump. We're going to stand for the policies that the American people want our politicians to enact, right? That's what we're going to stand for, okay? We're going to stand with the American people and what they want, regardless of whether or not Trump agrees with it or whether or not they agree with Trump, doesn't matter. But again, it is the constant Trump derangement. It is the constant, anybody that disagrees with us is transphobic. Anybody that disagrees with us is racist. It's all of that emotional nonsense. That again, is destroying the Democrat Party.
Yeah, and he's right. It has to. Thanks, Greg. It has destroyed the Democrat Party. It's over with. Like I said, what do they stand for? I mean, this has been a theme lately. What are they good for? What do they have? What's their platform? They have nothing, right? But they do have the drive for power, and they do have a subversive, easily bought off mentality. So they're easily controlled. All right, let's go. We have to get into this press conference. And since I went too long on that one, I got to push some other stuff down the road, but we have to stay up to date. Wow, this is getting old. I'll see. Now we have to do the Caroline Leavitt press conference. We got to get that White House presser in before the end of the evening. With 35 minutes to go, we are doing good. I think we're gonna make it. All right. So anyways, gotta get in there. But yeah, their party is hurting, but they still have the power to manipulate people, and that's kind of the point, right? They still have the power to manipulate people into helping them gain power. And when they get it, they're going to be easily bought off. They're going to do things that destroy the country, divide it, hurt it, right? And then that's only going to serve what? They're going to continue the cycle of abuse, which powers the cycle of control, which lie in the hands of these elitists who think that we're all beneath them, even their useful idiot Democrats. Yeah. They literally fight for their own destruction. They don't even realize it, because some of them, like Jacket Crockett, Jacketto Crockett, is going to get hers. You know, we able to sit around and drink her Courvoisier or whatever the hell she drinks, get drunk in her big house and feel like she's some big somebody, right? Because it's all about ego to her, obviously. All right, let's go to the White House press conference. Maybe Gary Franchi will get a question in tonight. I think he was there. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But anyways, let's check it out right now.
There's a lot of news today, so I look forward to taking your questions. Good to see you.
We got a new profile.
And I have some updates for you as well. Later today, President Trump will address the Business Roundtable's quarterly meeting, where he will tout his pro-growth economic agenda and answer questions before more than 100 of our nation's leading CEOs. In fact, it's the largest attendance ever for this event because business leaders are so eager and encouraged by President Trump's return to Washington. This follows President Trump's roundtable yesterday with the technology CEO Council here at the White House, where President Trump also held an official swearing-in ceremony in the Oval Office for Sean Curran, who is now the 28th director of the United States Secret Service. Sean demonstrated unbelievable bravery under gunfire in Butler, Pennsylvania this past July, when an assassin tried to kill President Trump. As someone who got to know Sean personally throughout the campaign last year, I can say unequivocally that there is nobody better suited for this important role. And following the confirmation of Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRomer last night, the Senate has now confirmed 21 of President Trump's well-qualified cabinet-level nominees, far outpacing the previous administration.
Yeah.
And looking ahead, tomorrow, the president will welcome the Taoiseach Micheál Martin of Ireland for the annual White House Shamrock ceremony. And Thursday, President Trump will welcome the NATO Secretary General for a working meeting and lunch. On the economy, February's jobs report was good news for America, particularly our manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector gained 10,000 new jobs in just 1 month under President Trump. This rebound was led by...
All right, hold on. Right Side Broadcasting. They got these things here. See these things next to her? These are important charts, and they're putting up information that we want to see during the broadcast. So I'm a little disappointed in this coverage. I usually do a good job, and I try to support you. But if you're going to do bullshit like this, you got to hire somebody else, right? Do we have a better 8 hours ago?
Good afternoon, everybody.
I'll speed it up.
How are you?
Yes, good, Mrs. Caroline.
And looking ahead, tomorrow, the president will welcome the team.
Is that just for people in the room? Why are we getting such a shitty feed? I'm very disappointed. Does anybody have a good feed of this? All right.
Micheál Martin of Ireland for the annual White House Shamrock ceremony. And Thursday, President Trump will welcome the NATO Secretary General for a working meeting and
I don't understand why they don't show these things.
On the economy, February's jobs report was good news for America, particularly our manufacturing sector. The manufacturing sector gained 10,000 new jobs in just 1 month under President Trump. This rebound was led by the automobile sector, where we saw 9,000 new auto jobs created already. That is the most auto jobs added to the economy in 15 months. This was a complete turnaround from the Biden administration, where we were losing an average of 9,000 manufacturing jobs per month last year. Reuters is out with a report that a number of companies are now looking at expanding their presence or bringing their businesses into America because of President Trump's policies. And just moments ago, before coming out here, I saw another report by Reuters revealing that Merck has opened a $1 billion facility at its North Carolina site. This is just the latest pharmaceutical company to boost its U.S. manufacturing in lieu of President Trump's tariffs. This announcement follows Eli Lilly's plans to invest at least $27 billion to build 4 new manufacturing plants here in the United States. And Pfizer has also said it's considering moving their manufacturing overseas right here to the United States of America. As the president has said over and over again, when we purchase products made in the USA, the profits stay here, the revenue stays here, and most importantly, the jobs stay here. And despite the globalist mainstream media's attempts to worry consumers, President Trump will not repeat the trend of past American presidents who broke their promises to the American public and smiled while they stuck a knife in the back of American workers and shipped their jobs overseas. Our country has lost more than 5 million jobs in more than 90,000 factories due to devastating globalization over the last 3 decades alone. North Carolina lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs, including 60% of its furniture manufacturing jobs in the years following NAFTA. And in Michigan, globalist policies destroyed 250,000 jobs, including 40% of the auto industry, which again, we know is clawing back because of President Trump's action already. These are harrowing statistics that represent countless towns and families who have been completely destroyed. But the America Last globalist era is ending under President Trump. He will no longer allow our country and our workers, our hardworking American families, to be ripped off. On another very important issue for the president, he continues to work hard to secure the border. If you missed it yesterday, CBP launched an enhanced.
Okay. This probably will be better, guys. I'm just trying to give you the best experience possible, as always. So hang tight. Let me get it all set up. I think this will be better. Hang in there. Here we go. Oh, look, I'm right here. See, I'm still here. Promise. All right, let's see. I think this is the one. Yeah. All right, let's go.
60% of its furniture manufacturing jobs in the years following NAFTA. And in Michigan, globalist policies destroyed 250,000 jobs, including 40% of the auto industry, which again, we know is clawing back because of President Trump's action already. These are harrowing statistics that represent countless towns and families who have been completely destroyed. But the America Last globalist era is ending under President Trump. He will no longer allow our country and our workers, our hardworking American families, to be ripped off. On another very important issue for the president, he continues to work hard to secure the border. If you missed it yesterday, CBP launched an enhanced home mobile app with a new feature, the Intent to Depart, which offers unlawfully present aliens or those aliens whose parole has been revoked an orderly and defined process to notify the U.S. government of their intent to depart the country. The CBP Home app strengthens our mission to secure the border and provides illegal aliens with a straightforward way to leave now before facing much harsher consequences later. A new report from Bloomberg just found that the number of aliens trying to reach our country by traveling through the jungle to Central America dropped a whopping 99% last month. And this follows the incredible news that illegal border crossings plummeted last month as well, down 94% at our southern border from last February under the Biden administration. As President Trump made clear during his historic address to Congress, we must finish this job and continue to carry out the largest deportation campaign in American history.
Let's go.
And that is why the president fully endorses the continuing resolution that is before Congress and was negotiated by Speaker Johnson. He is encouraging all Republicans to vote yes on this clean CR, which freezes funding at current levels and will prevent the Democrats from getting their long-awaited government shutdown. Voting against this CR will hurt the American people and kill the incredible momentum that President Trump has built over the past 51 days. And lastly, before I...
Okay, so there you go. That's what his problem with Massey is. He put it out there. He said, please trust us, do this. And Massey was like, no. So you get what you get, Massey. I would have. You should have listened to the president. He's the guy in charge, and it's just cut and paste. It's like, but no, he's saying it's going to freeze things so they can get everything in order and not undermine what they're trying to do right now. That's why I figured it what the problem was. But yeah, some people just got their head up their ass.
Take questions. I would like to commend the Washington
I don't
Post,
dislike
who I
Nasty,
believe is
but
in
that
the
was a
room
bad
today.
move, dude.
According to a new report from Axios, the Washington Post is overhauling their newsroom structure. It appears that the mainstream media, including the Post, is finally learning that having disdain for more than half of the country who supports this president does not help you sell newspapers. It's not a very good business model. And that's why we have people in our new media seat. And today we have Sargar Anetti, who is the host of Breaking Points, a popular political YouTube news and podcast show that has racked up nearly 1 billion views on YouTube, several hundred million podcast downloads since its launch in June 2021. He's also a former member of the White House Correspondents Association, but is now a part of the thriving independent media. We're very happy to have you with us here today. Why don't you kick off our briefing? Thank you.
Really appreciate you having me, Caroline. A couple of questions for you, if I may. First on the stock market. So currently it's the 25th anniversary today of the dot-com bubble crash. There's a lot of concern for a lot of Americans right now about the state of the economy. President Trump has refused to rule out a recession. Secretary Lutnick, however, has told us there will not be one. So can the White House just tell and assure Americans today that there's not going to be a recession?
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. So let me start by saying that, first of all, when it comes to the stock market, the numbers that we see today, the numbers we saw yesterday, the numbers we'll see tomorrow are a snapshot of a moment in time. And as President Trump has said, and I'm here to echo the remarks of this president of this White House, we are in a period of economic transition. We are in a period of transition from the mess that was created under Joe Biden in the previous administration. Joe Biden left this country in an economic disaster. Several statistics to point out. The delinquency rate on credit card loans increased 63% under Joe Biden, hitting a near 12-year high. Under Joe Biden, all net job growth went to foreign-born Americans. Real wages declined by 1.5% under Joe Biden. And as you know, and this administration continues to combat, prices soared more than 20 period of transition from that economic nightmare under a president who had no idea what he was doing, never held a private sector job in his life, into a golden age of American manufacturing under a businessman and a deal maker in chief in President Donald J. Trump, who is implementing the formula that we know works. Look at President Trump.
Sorry, we lagging a little bit here. Hold on. Sorry, I was trying to coordinate some things here at the back side. There we go.
Trump's results in his first term. If people are looking for certainty, they should look at the record of this president. That's why the American people reelected him back to this office. And look at everything that President Trump has already done and his team has already done in just 51 days. The massive efforts to deregulate, tax cuts, which we need Congress to pass the Trump economic agenda, the Trump tax cuts, which will unleash economic growth. And the president also addressed this directly, I will point out as well, when you look at what he said on Air Force One, and he said he wants the American people to have so much money in their pockets, they don't even know what to do with it. That's the intent of this administration, and we're working very hard every day on that goal.
Second question on the CR. So President Trump came out today in a primary challenge against Congressman Thomas Massie. Congressman Massie's been a supporter of DOGE. He's been a supporter of Make America Healthy Again. What kind of message is this White House sending against a congressman who's sticking up for principles that he's long held in the chamber and voting against continuing resolution and spending?
I think the president has made it very clear that he believes it's critical for conservatives and Republicans, and frankly, all members of Congress, to get behind this continuing resolution to keep the government funded. The president wants to continue the momentum that he has built over the last 51 days. In order to keep the government funded, we got to keep moving with these deportations. And he believes that everybody needs to get on board with this bill. He's been active in this process. He's been making calls to get this over the finish line. And we're urging every Republican and Democrats too to do what's right for the American public to prevent a government shutdown.
Just the last question here on Mahmoud Khalil. Does the administration believe that it needs to charge a green card holder with a crime to be eligible for deportation?
Well, in fact, Secretary Rubio reserves the right to revoke the visa of Mahmoud Khalil. And I'm glad you brought this up. Under the Immigration and Nationality Act, the Secretary of State has the right to revoke a green card or a visa for individuals who serve or are adversarial to the foreign policy and national security interests of the United States of America. And Mahmoud Khalil was an individual who was given the privilege of coming to this country to study at one of our nation's finest universities and colleges. And he took advantage of that opportunity, of that privilege, by siding with terrorists, Hamas terrorists who have killed innocent men, women, and children. This is an individual who organized group protests that not only disrupted college campus classes and harassed Jewish American students and made them feel unsafe on their own college campus, but also distributed pro-Hamas propaganda flyers with the logo of Hamas. That is what the behavior and activity that this individual engaged in. And I have those flyers on my desk. They were provided to me by the Department of Homeland Security. I thought about bringing them into this briefing room to share with all of you, but I didn't think it was worth the dignity of this room to bring that pro-Hamas propaganda. But that's what this individual distributed on the campus of Columbia University. And this administration is not going to tolerate individuals having the privilege of studying in our country and then siding with pro-terrorist organizations that have killed Americans. We have a zero tolerance policy for siding with terrorists, period. Peter Ducey.
Thank you, Caroline. So you said that the Dow dropping is a period of transition. You're sure nobody here at the White House short of the Dow?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. But is there any concern here that it's going to be harder to ask certain federal workers to retire if they look at their retirement accounts and they're getting robbed every day?
Well, I'm glad you brought up workers, because that's exactly who President Trump is looking out for with his America First trade policy and his America First economic agenda. And if you look at, there's great indication to be optimistic about where the economy stands. And the American people, investors, CEOs, small business owners, but most importantly, workers, should bet on President Trump, because his tariff policies, what he envisions is reciprocity, fair trade practices where American workers are put first and are no longer ripped off by foreign countries all over this world.
President Trump says he's going to buy a Tesla today.
He did.
Buy it. And when was the last time he drove a car?
That's a very good question. I have heard the president remark that he misses being able to drive, that luxury of driving his own vehicle, although the beast is nice, but he is going to be viewing a Tesla that is making its way to the White House complex now, I can confirm. The press pool today will have an opportunity to witness this very exciting moment later this afternoon. But a Tesla is on its way here now, and we'll see if the president likes it when he checks it out.
So they're bringing him a Tesla
to the White
House. He's just going to buy it.
You know, he's intent on, he's definitely going to buy one, but he'll take a look at it when it gets here later this afternoon.
Retail?
Yes, full market price. Kelly.
Can we talk about Canada? What is the status of President Trump having a conversation with Mark Carney? We have seen the president use the term governor to refer to Justin Trudeau. Will that offer also go to Mr. Carney going forward? And is the decision to increase the tariffs, is that based on a specific economic metric that he looked at? Is it impulse?
This guy looks like he's trying to take a picture down her shirt.
The president has not yet spoken to Mr. Carney, not since I checked, which was just moments ago. But certainly his phone is always open to leaders who wish to speak with him. As for the tariffs, the president made his position on this quite clear with the statement that he put out. And it was a retaliatory statement due to the escalation of rhetoric that we've seen out of Ontario, Canada. The president saw the premier, Doug Ford, make an egregious and insulting comment threatening to shut down electricity for the American people, for hardworking American families. He made that threat. The president saw that and has an obligation and a responsibility to respond accordingly and represent the interests of the American people. So he has made the decision to add a 25% tariff. So now steel and aluminum tariffs will come into effect tomorrow at the rate of 50%. And our steel and aluminum industries have actually applauded these tariffs because, again, they know it's going to grow their industry here. It's going to allow them to export more steel that is made right here in the United States with American workers.
Egregious and insulting are your words here, but that's what many Canadian leaders have said about the actions President Trump has taken toward Canada. And what do you think?
My response is, I know you are, but what am I?
The timeline is for speaking to Mr. Carney, because normally a sitting president speaks to a close
But that's what they say about him. Well, who's telling the truth? But us.
ally very quickly when there's new leadership.
Well, the president is, again, responding to the fact that Canada has been ripping off the United States of America and hardworking Americans for decades. If you look at the rates of tariffs across the board that Canadians have been imposing on the American people and our workers here, it is egregious. In fact, I have a handy-dandy chart here that shows not just Canada, but the rate of tariffs across the board. If you look at Canada, since you brought it up, American cheese and butter, nearly 300% tariff.
There you go.
You look at India, 150% tariff on American alcohol. You think that's helping
Explain
Kentucky
it.
bourbon be exported into India? I don't
The
think so.
reporter knows
100%
everything.
tariff on agricultural products from India. Look at Japan, tariffing rice, 700%. President Trump believes in reciprocity, and it is about dang time that we have a president who actually looks out for the interests of American businesses and workers. And all he's asking for at the end of the day are fair and balanced trade practices. And unfortunately, Canada has not been treating us very fairly
Yeah, they've
at
been
all
treating
over the
us
past
like
several
a
decades. To the woman in the purple, because I saw you were making a
big
face
old
at my
smelly
previous
moose
answer. So
on the
what's
lawn.
going on?
He's spraying what hose at us today. You know,
questions.
giving us the hose, eh?
At the core of pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses and elsewhere is a demand to end the war.
Right,
A goal that the
reciprocity.
administration actually supports and has pursued. So why has this not been acknowledged or highlighted even?
Because these colleges and these protests have again put out Hamas propaganda. The flyers that have been distributed.
Do you guys understand? Sorry, ma'am. Do you understand that Hamas is a terrorist organization? You understand they're basically trying to recruit children in this country for a terrorist organization. Do you get that, ma'am?
A call for violence. The flyers that have been distributed have the logo of an organization that has held Americans hostage, that murdered innocent babies, that murdered men, women, and children. They are a designated foreign terrorist organization, and we are not going to tolerate non-citizens, foreigners who come here on a visa, engaging in such behavior, siding with terrorists. And the Secretary of State reserves the authority to revoke the green card or the visa of an individual who serves as an actually, it says right here, reasonable grounds to believe that the alien's presence or activities in the United States would have potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences to the
Stephen Greer perks up. Did she say aliens?
United States. And I think siding with Hamas makes that quite clear. Secretary Rubio exercised that authority, and we fully believe that we are going to move forward with more arrests, as President Trump previewed in his statement yesterday. Ed,
thanks.
Go ahead.
So are there conversations between the administration and the Canadians going on over this tariff? Because the Ontario Premier says the next step is to cut off electricity to the U.S.
And the president put out a statement after seeing those comments and said that there would be grave consequences imposed on Canada if they think about shutting off electricity for the United States of America and our citizens. And the president is also determined to ensure that we are depending on American electricity, not the electricity production of foreign nations, including our allies in Canada. As for conversations, there is continued correspondence between the president's team.
Yeah, love it. Sorry about your electric company business there, Mr. Canada.
How do you sell to the American people then after they're looking at what's happening in the markets this week and say that the tariff policy long term is something good?
Did you really? I mean, do people think about the questions that they're asking? I mean, do they honestly think that everything happens overnight? Blame Canada. That's going to become a popular song again. Hold on, I'm getting interference for some goddamn reason again. Oh, let me check over here. Anything going on over here? No. What's that? Oh shit. What is this? And update my game driver. I don't know. Anyways, is that okay? Make sure. All right. Anyways, yeah, I'm running out of time here. I need to move on. This guy, okay, so Trump just did something yesterday and nothing's changed today. Can you explain why that is? I mean, that's the equivalent of the question he just asked. It's only been 50 days. How fast does he think? Does he live in like television world? Like, well, the next scene, the next day, everything's fine, right? Oh, look, he's in and everything's all the problems got solved in one day. How about that? Biden was there for 4 years and everything got worse. Right? The only person that was screwed things up so fast who changed things so fast was Biden. He started screwing things up right away. About 50 days in, Biden had already screwed up a lot of shit. And he wasn't done yet. Not by a long shot. So maybe that's what he's thinking. I don't know, man. I can't get why idiots like this ask stupid questions.
Well, just think about what the tariff policy long-term will do for our country. I think many of us probably grew up in small towns. I know at least I did. And the main street in my small town looks a heck of a lot worse than it probably did decades ago before I was alive. At least my parents and grandparents tell me so. And I know many Americans feel that same way. What the president envisions for this country is for the United States of America to be a manufacturing superpower where there are American factories and businesses owned by Americans producing goods that we are exporting to the rest of the world. Those revenues will stay here. It will increase wages for people here in our great country. It will ensure our national security, and it will boost the morale of the American people to have thriving industries again. Think about Detroit, Michigan. Think about North Carolina, as I mentioned, that used to have a thriving furniture industry that no longer exists because of the globalist trade policies of previous and past administrations. And the American people gave the president a tremendous opportunity to restore American greatness and restore our manufacturing dominance. And he's intent on doing just that. John.
Thanks a lot, Caroline. Two questions for you. First, on the CR, you put up on the screen the president's message to Republicans to support this continuing resolution. Is there outreach to Democrats, because what we've seen since the beginning of the fiscal year
why would
is
we
that in
outreach
order
to them?
get
They suck.
a continuing resolution, you need bipartisan support and you need compromise.
Well, right now,
No,
we are
not
focused
really.
on House Republicans and on the House, because that's the first step, as you know, John. And so the president has engaged in correspondence with House Republicans, whipping votes and getting them to a yes, which I understand has been pretty successful this morning thus far. And so, again, the president is encouraging Republicans especially, but again, as I said, all members of Congress to vote to continue funding this government so we can continue the business of the American people, which elected President Trump to do.
And then with financial markets, we've seen this decline. Yesterday,
Okay,
we see it
I hear
today
you.
as well.
I understand.
It seems that the read on the president's policies is one in which they do not have confidence in his trade tariffs policy. They do not have confidence in what the president said to Fox News over the weekend, that he did rule out the idea of a recession. What is your read in terms of the decline that we've seen over the last week and a half in financial markets?
Well, I think there's actually a lot of reason to be confident, and many people do feel confident. Just look at the nearly $2 trillion in private investment that this president has secured. Look at the comments made by the CEO of Apple, one of the biggest companies in this world, who said that he is bullish on the future of American innovation under the leadership of President Trump. Look at CEO confidence. According to the Conference Board measure of CEO confidence, in Q1 2025, under the leadership of this president, it jumped to its highest level in 3 years, from cautious optimism to confident optimism. If you, again, look at the $2 trillion in investments from some of the biggest companies in the world, look at the jobs report last Friday, as I also cited in my opening remarks. Fox Business reported that Trump sees a manufacturing boom in first full jobs report of the second term. Look at the auto jobs that have already poured back into America. We added 9,000 new auto jobs. Those are sticky jobs. Those are good paying jobs. That's 9,000 American families who will now be able to live the American dream because of the policies of this administration. You also look at small business optimism. The NFIB put out a report this morning. Small business optimism continues to be far higher than it ever was under the previous administration. There's a lot of reason to be optimistic. And again, the American people, CEOs and people on Wall Street and on Main Street should bet on this president. He is a deal maker. He is a businessman, and he's doing what's right for our country. He wants to restore wealth to the United States of America.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, bud. All right. Cool. You can find the rest of that press conference. There's about I don't know, another 15 minutes or so of that. I have questions from the press. They tend to get more ridiculous as they go along, but we've heard most of it. We covered most of the information today already. So hey, it's time to hit on down the dusty trail. I will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for Unveiling Reality, where we will unveil the Biden administration, who was really in charge. We're going to watch a very in-depth, very interesting interview. We'll have lots to say about the ridiculousness. We'll address the auto signature pens thing as well in that whole wrap-up, as it does point to some very particularly troubling issues with well, he pinned those pardons, but is it resignation, and other things. But the auto pen, he didn't even know it was going out the door. He'd just be like, I realize that's the Dixie Chicks, isn't it? All right. Or it's from a cover song they did. But hey, welcome, hard member. How you doing? We're gonna get ready to get out of here, man. But I'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for that deep unveiling dive into the truth behind the Biden administration, who was really in charge, the puppet show it was, from an insider, someone who was right there next to all of the big four, as she calls them, and more. So we'll have some fun with that. We'll take a break from the alien rabbit hole stuff for a minute and learn some other stuff. We'll have a good time tomorrow night. So our deep dive on a great interview with a great interviewer, Patrick Bet Davis. I'll see you then. Guys, thanks so much for coming here tonight. Thanks to everybody who participated, who supports the channel, who super chatted, and who mods, who just shows up every night and is awesome. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys very soon, and have a great evening. And until next time, stay based and keep on winning.
If you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands. If you've lost faith in humanity, and this is your villain origin story, if you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands.
is a friendship that'll never